Oh yeah. We coming in hot this Wednesday. Yes we is. Let's go. Let's start it back on up. We coming in hot. But hey, it gotta get talked about, man. Gotta get talked about. Let me see something real quick. Ooh. Hold on real quick. Sorry, get it. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Oh man, we gotta get this nonsense, man. Nonsense. Got a few ones for y'all, man. Okay, what we got going on? Send these invites out. Get some invites on. Yeah. Who else? I need to get some more invites. See something real quick. I don't know if there's some people in here, but I'm sending invites out, so it's, we good now. We good now. Might as well nip it in the bud. You know what I'm saying, man? Get to the root of this situation, man. Got to get to the root of it, man. Because the thing is, it's deeper than what we trying to make it out, man. It's no longer dealing with the adults, man. The adults gotta help push this. You know what I'm saying? Let it know. Let it be known. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that, man. It's deeper than us grown heads, man. We gotta realize what's getting pushed out here, man. It's a lot getting pushed, man. That box big today, you know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Let me see. Go sideburns only. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm about to talk the rest of the day. Can't even see the topic. I think my boss getting big. But yeah, let me get it back. Yeah, I came with a sweaty one today. You know what I'm saying, man? I thought I had some time to think about. I got a few topics though. Oh my, oh my. Yeah. We about to get a real sweaty today, man. I had a different topic for today, but I'm gonna do it another. I had a few things I thought about earlier. So I said, let me go ahead and ask. I don't think it's gonna get, put in the way that, I got it up though. It's a little different though. I like to go to the root of this situation though, because people not getting to the main point, man. If we keep trying to act like this thing don't matter, We ain't talking about mattering between two people in the relationships and all that. It gets so far as it's carrying on to the kids and the people that's under us that's hearing this. We not looking at it that way. I'm trying to fly out to New York and smoke a fat. Hold on, I got something for you, my brother. Got something for you. Need something to smoke. I'm gonna help him with his trip. Help him with his trip, man. You go to bed. I'm about to be fully woke today. You go to bed. But yeah, man, like this thing, and I got the time to talk about it because every time I jump on other people's live, you know what I'm saying? It's only so far, and I'm tired of, thank you, man. I got the boss a little. I'm gonna make it a little bit. Sorry, no, I'm talking to him. But yeah, good look. But I've asked this a few times, and what they do is deflect. Every time it comes to the kids, they keep warning. Like I said, I'm not worried about these adults like that, man. I'm worried about what's coming behind us because it's hard to talk to adults. So at least if I can get to some of the adults so they can get to their kids, you know what I'm saying? At least we know something behind this is better. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way we can make some type of change. I know everybody got this feeling where they only thinking about, I'm just living my life to the best I can, but they don't care about how it's affecting other people's lives. We only living for so long, you know what I'm saying? So why not live it? Why not, help the next people that's coming up? Why are we worried about child? I guess it starts with the dumb stuff. I ain't never said nothing like that. But anyways, like I said, we got to. This stuff is a little further than what we think it is, man. Just us and our feelings and stuff. It's a lot of things that's going on, and a lot of people is getting impacted by it because we only care about ourselves and our feelings and our pleasures and our all this stuff. And yeah, why they count matters for children.
So MJ and Three's World, we're not saying that it counts for the children. Like, we're not worried about a child's body count. We're worried about body count in general and passing it on and like teaching your kids to
I'm
have
not
some respect for themselves.
right. I think anybody that's a logical thinker can actually read through what that means. They just picking and choosing. I'm not saying these usually be the people that don't worry about body counts, but um,
That's hilarious. Why
just
would
read the room and we're gonna get to the point. So basically, yes, it is. Like we keep playing this or spreading this rhetoric or whatever they like to say. This new thing I done learned on TikTok. I never used that word until I heard it on TikTok. Right? We keep acting like this stuff really don't matter, and it's really affecting even just adults, and they won't own up to it how it affected. That's the reason why a lot of y'all on here now with the traumas y'all got now because y'all done mess with the wrong person and stuff. Can't find true love because y'all can't keep your thing in your pants. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? But it makes love and lust together. How we going? The thing is and that's what I'm trying to get to is like we gotta. Why does someone else's sexuality life matter? You asked a question that ain't got to do with the topic, but I'm saying back to the body count, man. They have nothing to do with that. I'm talking about a child, and how it's going to affect them because it's obvious it affects the adults and they don't see it. So, the thing is, it's like we might say, and I know people be like, oh, we can do this without no emotions attacking all that stuff and attached. I'm saying it wrong. Emotions attached and all this other stuff, right? But you can't expect your child to think the same exact way. So we got to let them know, that they got to be conserved. It got to be for the right person. This casual stuff they be having, talking about casual sex and all this stuff, that ain't it either, man. I mean, all they doing is getting they heartbroken and start talking like how this is, you know what I'm saying, where we think this stuff really don't matter and we not we not looking at the topic for what it is, you know what I'm saying. But it's sad that we think like that we think that it's not affecting this and it's the main thing that's affecting. It's the second main thing that's affecting this. You said, why does it matter? I'm saying the reasons why it's mattering. It might not be coming out the way you want to hear, but it's many reasons why it doesn't matter. It's emotional attachments that come behind it. It's the traumas that come behind it because you start picking wrong. And the more people you sleep with, the more you be confused on what love really is. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a hundred reasons, man. You could pick out one of the ones I said out of the three I just said, but
my thing is just because, you know, we claim that this might not affect us, right? We say we tough. We can't expect the people that's under, especially if we have our own children. I pray that the people that's asking this question, please don't have no children. If you're thinking like this, if you don't think it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because this will affect them, and they will be on here on TikTok, even around when you have children, right? And they gonna be making lives just like these trauma-based lives and stuff or whatever. Because so it's a bigger problem than what we really think it is, though. But everybody be trying to, like I said, as an adult, of course, you're not gonna think about it. Hey, I got 100 in this or whatever. But you can tell people that got 100 bucks because they seem like they can't even get their stuff together, and everything is revolving around, you know, their situation. But the thing is, we do have to teach our kids this. We got to teach the youth under us this, that, you know, they gotta be wise with their situation. They can't be careless with this. You know, we got to let them know that it is damaging. It's most definitely damaging, no matter how I want to look at it. You know, this, I don't know. Of course, this what's that? The entertainment and all that stuff gonna push it out, and that's the reason why. Like, if you don't realize, that's why a lot of the problems, more of the problems is like that. You know, these unplanned pregnancies and, you know, all this stuff, the abortions and all. We wouldn't have to worry about all that if we start trying to, you know, put in our kids' head like, hey, this you see what's happening now today, that y'all gonna be going through the same problems if y'all don't be more responsible. You know what I'm saying? Or try to, you know, stop prioritizing it. Focus on yourself before you think, you know, make sure you choose the right persons. Maybe do the 90-day rule or something like that. You know, no, people don't know about it. But ever since, and that's what I know that's been said a lot, ever since it's got easy to get to, it's been harder to love. It's just general, that's like real life facts today. It's so easy to get to it, it's hard to be so hard to love, because everybody, you know what I'm saying, they're supposed to be saved for a special occasion, but now they just throwing that thing, you know what I'm saying? Let's see, monogamous relationships and body counts.
It was saved for the birthday, don't you know that?
Monogamous relationships, body count. I don't know.
Are you trying to say the special occasion is not my birthday? Is that what you're trying to tell me? It being my birthday is not a special occasion?
You say you got a special occasion on your birthday?
I'm saying, is that not a special occasion? I'm supposed to save it past that? Is that what I'm asking?
You talking about for me?
I'm talking about anybody. Because you said you're supposed to save it for a special occasion. I'm asking,
I ain't mean to say special. I must have said that wrong. I ain't mean to say that. Please remove. But he keep picking with her. No, I mean, what's the deal, Leona? No, I'm just meaning the special time when it's supposed to be, when you got your life together, when you're ready to be with that person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm meaning. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Relations are a lot more complicated than being picky with who you sleep with. Most definitely, but it get more blinded too if you rush to do it too. So what you going to do, sir? He still wondering if I'm about to host. Are you married? Why do that, man? What is these silly questions?
Just, are you married? Yes or no?
No.
That's a good question. Well, excuse me. What do you mean no? Would you like to restate that answer?
You ain't about to bully me.
Would you like to restate that ansser?
We
ain't got no talking to do. We ain't got no talking to do.
We got a lot of talking.
I think you should restate
first you gotta learn
answer.
how to go to bed first.
First of all, I love to sleep. Sleep is my favorite hobby. I'm a professional sleeper.
Do you practice abstinence? Most definitely. You can't get me on that one. I'm 2 years strong, my brother. Dude. Also host, you about to just ignore me. Okay. This dude did not just call me host. So what you gonna do?
He said because you answered to them. He said because you answered them when they said host. So he said host.
This dude, why you keep
He not
messing with her?
dropping me. He ain't dropping me.
Oh, my number one guy that we never agree on. Just hits a box. I love it. Try not to yell today, my brother.
You hear me?
Oh, shit. What's my dang on? What's the deal, man? You at work or something? No, that background would have been louder. So, okay,
I'm at
so
work.
only 2 years, not lifelong. What?
Well, if it was lifelong, that would be celibate. No. It's the other way around, right?
No, I'm waiting to.
If you're practicing celibacy
Right.
when you never have, right?
Right.
Wait, which? Am I saying it wrong?
I think you said it.
No, abstinence is it's commonly mixed up. Abstinence is when you abstain from sex until marriage.
Okay, that's what it is.
Celibacy is abstaining from sex for any period of time.
Okay,
That's
I got
celibacy.
you. Yeah, so abstaining. Yeah, that's
Both
what I'm
are
going with.
abstaining though. Both are abstaining. That's why they get confused all the time. What's good with y'all?
Yeah.
Though?
Okay.
2 years, not a lifelong time. Yeah, I'm abstaining until until I get the person that I'm looking for. That's what I'm doing. It's part of my self
No,
control and discipline.
you're celibate.
Mm-hmm.
You're still
Oh,
like
okay.
you just explain yourself.
Okay.
You're
I guess I
celibate.
said it right. Then. Which one is the one you? So which one the one you wait till marriage?
The one when you wait
Abstinent.
your whole life until marriage is abstinence. That means you never have
Oh,
sex until you become married.
When you
Celibate,
didn't practice.
that means you never did have sex, right?
right? Exactly.
Oh, I get you. Okay,
Celibate
I
would
get you.
be abstaining from sex for any period of time after you've had sex. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. Okay, so I said. So I am right. That's my name. That's on the date now. Let's make it funny. That way I can cut out the ones I don't need in my life. Celibate Kev is on.
No, you weren't right
It
because
is. You laughing? That is my name for real.
wait, you're a virgin?
No. He said he's
Oh,
right because the second time he said I've been abstaining for 2 years.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
didn't hear that part.
celibate. He said if you already had it already, it's called celibacy.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, you're
What's good though,
celibate.
Kev?
Thank you.
Nothing, man. I haven't seen you in 100 years, man.
Yeah,
I'm still over here with my positive stuff,
Ain't no question.
man.
I disagree, but it's like I disagree because I don't think it matters at all, really.
And
Can I
why?
hear why you think that?
I think we put too much onus on sex. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that leads to people making bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? If that is, you put too much value in a good sexual experience, or you don't put enough value in sexual experience, or you think sex is this very high form of relationship, so you don't have it until you meet what you think is the right person. But being with someone, especially if you're talking about marriage for the rest of your life, isn't as easy as finding someone who you think in the moment is the right person.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more difficult. The right person at now could be the wrong person 10 years from now. People change, people grow, people become different. You have to it's a very high form of commitment if you're talking about being with someone for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And
What happened?
oh, that cut out?
Yeah, you went
Yeah,
up.
I couldn't hear you at least.
I said, I believe someone with experience, I mean just all forms of experience, someone who's traveled, someone who's had sex, someone who's done things in life, I think they're more equipped to make that commitment than someone who hasn't.
Hmm. So you said they should be banging some things before they get to their main thing?
I think so. I think you should experience life. There's
That's it.
less chance, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. There's less chance of you having an experience that will change you fundamentally if you already had these experiences.
What you could be missing out on by not having sex?
What can you be missing out on? The experience of sex.
I mean, is it really that important? There's so much other things they experience in life than that.
If it's going to be a part of your life later on, like if it's something that you're going to do when you're married, I think it's kind of important.
Hmm.
Would you want a wife who cooks for you, but she's cooking for the first time?
Mm-mm.
She's never cooked before, but
But I
she's gonna
wouldn't
cook for
mind
you.
sitting around because, you know, as
She's
long
gonna
as I,
cook for you, but she's never cooked before. Like she's gonna clean the house, but she's never cleaned before.
they put it this way, I want where I am deeply in, got deep attachments with her before she even started cooking. So I want to get to know her before she started cooking. You know what I'm saying? I don't
I
want to
agree
be
with
with her because she's cooking.
No, I agree with that. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with that. You should never pursue someone just because they'll let you have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say I like softly disagree because I also agree that you shouldn't just be sharing your body with everyone.
Nope. No.
I don't think you should be doing that either. So, you
And I
should
kind of
value your
understand what
body.
he's
Your
saying.
body.
I kind of understand what you're saying too, because actually, at the end of the day, right? People sometimes get married for the simple fact is they want to finally do that, but if they haven't experienced it, right? And let's say like you meet someone and I know for some people it works out, right? But like imagine if you've never experienced it. Now that person, once they've experienced it, might be really curious and to see to think about what they've missed out on.
I think it's
Exactly.
worse. I think too. I can feel you on that, but I think it's worse when you did experience because one of your next person ain't as good as the other one, and then you gonna really be wanting to explore because you know the feeling.
I mean, I
I
would
mean,
agree if I was younger, right? But I feel like, especially once you're grown, right? Like, I know what I like sexually now. You know what I'm saying? If I've never had sex, I wouldn't know that. So it's unless there's something wrong with you, right? Or I'm not attracted to you. My partner really shouldn't be trash in bed because I should tell my partner how to please me.
This how I look at it though. If you didn't have that experience, that's why I say ain't no such thing as no good sex or bad sex, especially to a virgin, right? So that's how I look. That's why I know why.
no, that's actually not true though. That's not true though, because like
this is your first time hearing
that's not true because at the end of the day, I knew that the sex that I was having was trash.
That's big. Nah, that's off hearsay though, bitch. Because you was curious on
No,
other friends.
no,
How would you know?
no. Like
that was your
because
first time
it didn't
feeling it. How
because
would
it
you know
wasn't
that?
because it
Now, y'all
wasn't
both are right.
pleasing.
Yeah,
Because
y'all
it's
both are
not
right.
pleasing. So
Y'all
it's
both are
supposed
right.
to be pleasing, and if you're not pleased, then you know something's wrong.
Oh, but Pure, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can we agree that if you're not taught about sex correctly, every woman may not understand that it's not supposed to be painful, that it's supposed to be pleasurable?
Exactly.
So if you
You
don't
have
know
to
that
be
it's
taught
supposed to
that.
be right, exactly. If you don't know it's supposed to be pleasurable, you wouldn't know what trash sex is. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know. But I mean, honestly, it would. I think it would honestly try. It would just feel like this isn't right. It just doesn't. When it doesn't feel right, like
You
as a
must.
woman, like
I'm gonna put it this
it
way.
doesn't feel good. You just know that you don't want to keep doing that. It just doesn't feel good. You don't want to
I
do it
don't know
anymore.
about that. I just don't know. I feel
I
like in your
Go ahead.
case, you must was playing with yourself before you got to your man. I ain't gonna
No,
even lie.
I know,
Cause
but I
it's
feel like
no
it's just
way you don't
what
know
you
that
talking.
feeling. You don't know
I
that
just
feeling
feel
at
like
all to
what
call
you're
it trash.
told. I know. No, I just feel like
You know,
what
you
you're
don't know. I
told.
wouldn't say okay. I shouldn't say trash, but I knew something was off because it wasn't pleasurable. I
Right,
wasn't
it's what you're
enjoying it.
told. If she's told by other women before she has sex that sex is really pleasurable, if she goes in and it's not pleasurable, she's gonna be like something's wrong. Not
They
saying she's
probably
gonna be
heard it.
aware to be like this is trash, this is good, but she's like something's wrong because I don't have the experience that all these other have. This is back to my point though, Pure, right? What if you just didn't, what if it was that person, what if it was something that you like sexually, like what if you had a kink or something, what if there was a reason other than it just wasn't pleasurable? If you don't have sex, you'll never find that out.
Mm-hmm.
So and then when you get married, when you're 24 and you're married, you've never had sex, you're gonna be like, yeah, my husband's trash, but really you have a kink that you have no idea about.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. No, I personally don't think body count matters. I understand what Kev's topic is, though, about, because I have children, and I definitely tell them, hey, look, try to wait as long as you can before you do this, right? And of course, I give them the whole, like, ridiculous, hey, stay, until you're married. But at the end of the day, I know it's not going to be like that. But I do push the narrative because I do want them to make the right decision. I want them to be safe, and so we have constant conversations, probably ad nauseum for them. They're probably tired of me having these conversations with them, but I just have to have them with them because I need to make sure they know.
I
But
think it's
I
worse.
do
I think it's
agree
worse.
that what's worse.
If you have a lot of bodies, it's worse because it's like you got to compare, and then, like I said, you can mess up and be in love with a person that ain't as good as the Mr. Break Your Back. You know what I'm saying? You might end up running into some such
But
situation
why
like
would
that.
that matter though?
Mr.
That's what I'm
Break Your
saying.
Back may
But
not
like when you
be
have the
my
more bodies
person,
you
though.
got, the more you start
Right.
comparison to that
Like, but
last
But
why?
feeling.
Mr. Break
But
Your
my thing
Back
is, why would that
that's great that
matter
he can
though?
break my back, but he may not be the person I am, that I'm like, he may not be the one, like, we may not get along in
Yeah,
the
like
long
if
But
you
run.
you
have a
still might
person,
He's
run
not,
into bad sex and then the freak.
but this is what I'm saying. If you have a
but
person, right? If you
you
have a
can run
person
into it
who's a
either way it
10,
goes. We just talked about
No,
that.
you don't. Cause that's why I said I
but
can't. I
but
gotta
hold up,
call.
kid.
I
If you
can't.
have a person, right? If you have a person who's a 10 in the bedroom, Shorty's amazing, 10 out of 10, porn star Shorty, right? But she's a 3 in communication. You know what I'm saying? She's a 2 at being a partner. She's a 1 romantically, right? But she's a 10 in the bed. You know what I'm saying? But then you have a girl who's a 6 in the bed, right? But she's a 8 in the communication. She's a 9 at being your partner. You know what I'm saying? She's
Mm-hmm.
a 10 at being there for you, being romantic, right? Who's a better relationship? Because
See,
once I've slept with the 10 in the bed, right? I've done it already. I'll always have that memory. I've done that.
no, you gotta
But
go down to three.
is this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with? The person I can't talk to, I can't watch a movie with.
Yeah, I get
No,
what you're
I
saying.
gotta. No, you gotta do three, man. Go to three and then ask that question at 3 punani.
I
But
mean,
that's
if
making
I
it even worse, right? At the end of the day, what his point still is valid, no matter what she is in the bed or what she.
right,
That at the end of the day, you want that
But
person that has that communication, that's going to be that you guys can see eye to eye when it comes to making plans
exactly,
in the future. It doesn't
exactly.
really matter. And the thing is, but I do understand what you're saying, right? I just think
no,
that,
you don't.
right, in this, I do understand what you're saying because I get what you're saying. Like, I believe that people don't just deserve rights to your body, right? It should not be given
Absolutely.
up that easily. So I do understand what you're saying. Like I said, I tell my children to try to wait as long as they can. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to wait as long as you can, and then have that experience. And so
Let's be
I
real.
understand what
Kids
both of
aren't
you are
supposed to be having
saying.
sex.
Who?
Kids aren't supposed to be having sex.
God,
You're
no, they
right. Remember we
shouldn't.
Legally,
talked about that
morally,
before. Swords. Remember that? We talked
yeah,
about that last.
legally, morally, kids shouldn't be having sex, right?
No, they shouldn't.
When
Agreed.
when I was taught
Not no high
about sex,
school.
right? None of that. Right, exactly. When I was taught about sex, right? My mom never told me to wait till marriage. That's not something she really taught. You know what I'm saying? She waited till marriage. She thought it was a mistake, right? But what was taught was kids don't have sex. You can't handle it. It's not for you. You know what I'm saying? You wait till you're an adult. You don't go out there
Interesting.
and give nobody your body. You're a child. You're my child. You know what I'm saying? You don't even own your shit yet. I do. Like, you ain't even
This
yours
ain't
yet for
shows.
real.
This
You
ain't
ain't yours yet
shows.
for real.
Watch out for MJ. What do you mean by this?
I ain't even yours yet for real. You're a kid. So, like, that's kind of what I was taught in my household, right?
Yeah.
And I remained a virgin until I was 15, 16.
Hmm.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, and I know 15, 16 ain't the best age. That's not what everyone wants to hear, if I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's good compared to people that's 12s and all that stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to say I wasn't a real life child or adolescent out here sleep with somebody. But yeah, I was a little horny teenager that met a girl that was 19 willing to sleep with me. Yeah, and what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
What
Not
do
you
this
being preyed
button do?
on.
So like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I don't regret that experience though, you know what I'm saying?
Me
I
neither.
I,
I don't
I
regret the
agree with
experience,
what
but I
you're
wish I was a
saying.
virgin. I, or,
I was a virgin? Absolutely
yeah.
not. That would suck.
No,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. It's all in the
no.
That
mentality.
would
I think my brain, I
suck.
think my mind would be way powerful. I wouldn't be driven off of like the thoughts of sex and all that stuff. Because like people don't really realize that our mentality, it is like sex is a very big thing. It makes us think different. I'm pretty sure like as soon as you had sex, your mind has shifted to something else, even if you ain't want to put it to mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you got that new feeling. It's like an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like a
I
drug. When
I
Really?
you
That's
go,
how
how
didn't
would you gonna
that's
know
how
about
it
a
was
drug
for
if you
you?
ain't never tried it?
I about to say I didn't really
That's
have
how it
that
was for you?
experience. I didn't really have that
That's
experience.
hard for everybody.
That's not I didn't
No,
really
for
have that
me, I
experience.
actually, after it for me, I didn't. It was a long time before it happened again. Actually,
I feel you. But I'm saying
Same,
if you had
honestly.
missed the break that back
it
off the
made me
beginning, right?
actually. It literally made me throw up. I was so because it was something that was. It's something that's so different, and you when you're taught that you're not supposed to, you feel the
MJ, serious.
difference.
She typing
But
hard.
It just made me
sorry.
more aware. It made me more
But
Yeah,
aware
yeah,
of
but
she
what
just
I was
honestly,
angry.
to
doing.
be, but after my experience, I did it was a long time before it happened again, and I mean like a long time before it happened again.
Yeah,
And
it
I
made me
honestly,
more aware of what I was doing.
I know more people who have the same story of like, yeah, I did it, and then it didn't happen again for maybe a year.
I feel you. I feel you. Cause like that's what it is. Like things is like we build off pleasures and pains. Like you usually run away from the pains and you go towards the pleasures and stuff. So yeah, I feel you on that situation.
But
But my
even the
thing
people that
is,
I
I'm
know
just
who said
saying,
it was
not besides your
pleasurable,
situation, right? I'm talking about
no, like,
literal two virgins
Nah,
would not know
wait,
nothing
wait, wait,
about
wait.
that feeling at all.
My
but
first
I know a lot
experience
of
was
people who thought it was
very
pleasurable,
pleasurable.
and they still didn't do it for a while
My first
after their
experience
first time.
was very pleasurable. Like Shorty was
And
older, she actually knew what
how
she was
long
doing.
after
It
that?
was super
And how long
pleasurable. You know
after
what I'm
that
saying?
was?
And I was with Shorty, right? For a little minute. We dated for a little minute, right? But then Shorty cheated on me, we broke up, right? And I didn't have sex for a minute after that, you know what I'm saying? Probably like close to a year, right? Because I was just super aware of sharing my body with people. I went and got an STD check, you know what I'm saying? And like she was sleeping with other people. It
Yeah,
kind of
that's
threw me
scary.
for a loop, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like, yeah, she's cheating, so she's sleeping with other people. I'm sleeping with her. It kind of threw me, you know what I'm saying? So my first experience just made me like super aware of what sex was and what you're really doing. Like you're sharing your body fluid with somebody, bro. It's like me giving you blood. Like this is a different level of together, and it really put that in my mind. And then shortly after that, probably like after the second time, I got locked up. So that was like another 5 years without sex. You know what I'm saying? For me to put it in another perspective before I came home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Well,
So,
we don't have the same story when it
no,
comes to that part.
no, yeah, I had to
But
take a
yeah, it was
time
like
out from society.
yeah, it was about a year for me, and I was with the same guy. We just, it was just a different experience for both of us, and it was, we didn't. There was a lot we didn't know. You know, so it was, and I know a lot of people who had very pleasurable first experiences, and they still said it took them a minute before it happened again.
You just become super aware of what sex really is. Like, it's nothing no one can tell you. This is why, my perspective, you have to experience. I can't really tell a motherfucker what sex is, bro.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you what it is. I can give you a textbook, you know what I'm
Until
saying?
they really feel it.
Exactly. Until you really feel it, I can't really tell you how you going to react to this drug. This is a chemical reaction that's going to happen in that moment. I can't really tell you, you know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you, textbook, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to be, should be done. Woo, woo, woo. But that's nothing. That's like giving you the blueprints to a building I ain't never been in. I was in that job. Like,
I waited 6 years and it was a reaction. So this is how I look at it. Because with that bad sex, good sex, man, that's crazy. Aversion. What is aversion? That's like, bro, that's off. It's so funny to me. I done forgot I was about to say it was so. But it's like, I
Gigi said
look
it
at it
was a
this way. It's like
reaction.
it's a hearsay type situation. That's the reason why I was talking about if I was a virgin, man. It'd be easier. It'd be easier going because I don't know that feeling and it would be an addiction. I'm not gonna say I was addicted, but you wouldn't like not knowing that feeling. It's a whole different thing from actually knowing the feeling because you know what you're missing out on. That's just like the people that was doing that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That stuff that with the needles and all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna try to say too much, right? Now that they know it's a feeling, that's like it's an addiction. My boy
but
D Dub
it's
in the
not
building.
talked about the same though. See, this is what I'm saying, right
Yeah, I
there.
feel you. I feel you.
It's easy for us to say this, right? You smoke,
Nope.
drink,
Yep.
okay, drink. Let's talk about drink, right? The way alcohol is popularized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's looked at as people having a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You drink, you have a good time, right? So this is what I'm saying, right? Say you ain't never drank before, right? It to me it'd be a lot easier for you to avoid something like something like a needle, right? Because every person going to tell you, even the ones on it, don't do this, youngster. Stay away from this. This ain't it. Versus alcohol, when people gonna be putting in your face when you a youngster, when you a baby for real, people gonna be putting in your face. To me, that's the difference with sex too. It's easy to say, yeah, if I would have avoided this, sure, right? But it's a lot different when this thing is put on a pedestal and then you're staying away from it. Versus when this thing is demonized and you're staying away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Your feeling about what you're doing will be just a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I
You
said it'd be
It's a
easier
good
to do the
stress
celibate thing if
reliever.
I ain't never felt it.
It's a
I was
good
just, dang,
stress reliever.
would it
I
be
could think.
easier or would you be like, what am I really missing? You know what I'm saying? You know what you would be missing.
Yeah,
So you can say that. You
that's
can
what
say that
right.
now because you got the experience. You know what I'm
I feel
saying?
you. I feel you, and
But
it's
if
hard.
you
It's still
never
hard.
had it,
At night it is
I
too. So
can
that's
say
like,
this. I know I can say this. I wish I waited longer than I did, but I don't. I
yeah,
I
I
don't.
hey,
feel
it
that.
I
is
don't.
what it
I
is, man.
I wish that
like
It,
too.
because
I feel
once
it's
that.
not that
for
much cracked
me,
up to be, man. How people trying to make it, man. It's
no,
just
it really isn't.
because it's a lot of
That's
it's
cause
a
y'all
lot of
have
problems that
sex
come
though.
behind it.
Y'all be saying that from the not the point of view of aversion, yo. Y'all saying it ain't all that because y'all do it. Y'all have sex.
I
Yeah,
haven't in a minute, but I'm just
Y'all,
saying it's not. I'm just saying it's not like what it's cracked. Like you think your first time is just gonna be like explosive. You're thinking like it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. But at the end of the day, once you have it, you're like, was that it?
paint the whole wall.
no, you're right, but that's what I'm saying. Once you have it, you're like, that's it because it
I
will
get
never meet your expectations because our
I get what you mean on
expectations
that
are
too.
unrealistic, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm saying. If you kept those unrealistic expectations longer, do you think they would get more realistic or more unrealistic?
I mean,
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have
I
the
just think at the
mentality of
end of the
not
day, I
knowing.
was just
Cause I
I
heard
think at the end of the day,
the
I was
white
just
stuff
more
was
so
real good, and
like,
I don't want to try it because I heard the bad
Nah,
I'm
stuff
nah,
about
not.
it too.
no, no.
I don't care how good the white stuff ever
That's
gets. It
what I'm
ain't
saying. I
happening
heard
over
that jump
here.
was better than sex. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, of course,
But see,
everybody gonna be
this
curious,
That's
but I'm not gonna
crazy.
do it. I just
this
can't.
what I'm
I'm
saying.
about to do it though.
Unless you talking about the white stuff that start with an M, nobody has any good tales about the white stuff, bruh.
I heard somebody said, "What is
Wait,
the?"
what?
No, I heard
I'm
somebody
sorry.
say that
I
jump
don't
is
think that
better
made
than
sense to me. What do you
sex.
mean the
Somebody was
M?
telling me that.
All we're taught as black people is that
No,
stuff
wait. You can't
destroys
skip
our
past that. What's the
community.
stuff with the? What's the M?
I
Oh,
know
the
these sound like
tan colored stuff that starts
like
with an M?
moth, but it's the E in it.
You ain't never listened to Future?
No,
Dang, what? I don't know if
I
I can
still don't
say
know
it.
what you guys are talking
I
about.
don't.
I
Or
guess I
breath.
just.
I don't know
It
if I can
rhymes
say
with
it.
breath.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the other white stuff. Then, if
I
that's
I
the
got
case.
I got a niece named Molly.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Say less.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not trying that either.
She said no. She said no.
I hope my Wi-Fi. Tchantell in the building is the celebrity.
Ooh, I love celebrities.
Yo.
How y'all doing?
Hi, how are
Cool.
you?
Can y'all hear? Look,
Kind
I
of.
Little
You're
got that
going
bit.
in
EBT
and out.
Wi-Fi. I keep telling people
You got
that.
EBT Wi-Fi.
EBT
That's not
Okay,
good.
Wi-Fi is
okay.
crazy.
That's not good.
It's not.
It sounds
You
cheap
can hear what
though.
I'm saying. I'm gonna try to make sure it is cheaper. It's free. That's why when you get food stamps, you get free
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
listen. I'm okay with anything that's free. So you go ahead. I'm proud of you.
Hey, look. You hear what I'm saying on this free Wi-Fi? It may be a little glitchy, but you
Because
heard me, didn't you?
let
You
me tell
heard
you,
me.
you
I
hear
I
me?
pay
You
All
for
right, but
hear
look.
this.
me?
I
All
pay
right,
for
we
mine.
in
It's
the
real ghetto
building.
over here.
We in the building.
All right, so look, real quick. We talking about. I normally come in and I'm off subject. But we talking about body counts. Now, this is an old retired pro right here. I used to be on heroin, crack, meth, and I sold my body to support that habit. So the
Oh
body
wow,
count,
okay.
baby, I couldn't even tell you. I don't even know. But I still got that gorilla. I still got that gorilla grip snapback. And I ain't saying this myself. The coochie doctor himself told me.
Say it again for the
Coochie
people in
doctor
the
himself, the
back.
OBGYN.
Say it
The
again for the people in
OBGYN,
the back.
he did my pack. He said, you have an unusually small birth canal for somebody that's giving birth to 6 kids. I said, sir, did you just tell me I got a tight coochie in medical terms? Because that is the nicest thing anyone's
That
ever
is
said
what
to
he
me. Oh my
said.
God, it was
God.
so nice.
That is
Oh
what
my
he said.
God.
Verbatim.
So that body count don't matter. If your walls is blown out, that's just how they was.
Well,
Like
we
How
weren't
they
it
saying
ain't got
body
nothing to do
was.
count.
with your body count.
How they
We weren't saying
was.
body count matters in
So
that sense. We were
so
saying body count matters in the sense of relationship.
Oh my
no, I'm
God.
saying we about to
That's a
read the whole topic.
W.
What it say?
What?
When we start pushing this towards the kids,
Okay,
that's when it matters. I
Yeah,
will
we're
not
talking
teach
about
my
towards
kid that it don't
relationship,
matter. I
right?
just can't
like
do it. I will not teach them that.
Oh,
no.
oh.
No. At the end of the day, everybody that you lay with, you give a piece of your soul to. So
Mm-hmm.
when I say sometimes I feel soulless, I'm not gonna I make a lot of jokes and I choose to laugh at my pain. But at the end of the day, I have given my body away and degraded things that were not right. So body count does matter. Everybody that you lay with takes your
It,
soul, whether you want to believe that or not. Have you ever slept with somebody that you didn't like, but you kind of started liking them one? Caught a little bit of feeling, like
Mm-hmm.
you didn't like this person. Then you caught feelings. Like, you know how then they played you. He's like, I let this ugly mother really like you that it does matter. It matters.
The story of my
But as
life.
far as that gorilla grip snapback though. But as far as that gorilla grip
Gorilla
snapback
grip
though, ain't got nothing to do with it.
snapback
All I'm
is
saying
crazy.
is
No, I mean,
I ain't got
I
no clue.
understand. You know what is interesting? My parents never told me body count matters or doesn't matter. It was not a conversation. The conversation was always
Are you
wait as long as you can. That was always the topic. No matter which parent I
I'm
spoke
about
to,
to
it was
make it
always
real
wait.
scary when it comes to my. If I have kids, I'm making it scary for them.
Like if you do this, you're
Why?
gonna be like this TikToker right here
Hey,
that's
look,
yelling at the screen.
you gonna die.
Why?
You gonna die.
That's how kids end up having a bunch of sex. Is once they do and they find out none of that
Exactly.
happened, they gonna go harder.
I'm good.
Hey,
And
look, let
if
me
you
tell you
think they
something.
ain't gonna go
Sometimes
harder,
I
telling them to
I'ma
allowing them to
tell
do
I'ma
it,
tell my kids the truth. If you
No,
end
it
they
up,
gonna be
actually
pregnant. They gonna be
I'ma tell them
pregnant
the
at
truth.
11.
No, I'm gonna tell them the truth.
no.
If
The
you end up
So
if
free.
you end up having sex when you young, you gonna end up having sex with somebody in your age bracket. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna end up at the end of it feeling stupid and
Boston
looking
sis in the building.
stupid. Cause y'all two dumbass kids that don't know what y'all doing. So y'all gonna lay there
hey,
looking stupid and feeling nasty.
hey,
And you
hey,
gonna feel
hey.
dumb.
I remember him going, where hole I'm supposed to, where it go?
oh,
And
That's
you
the
know,
whole of wait
I
until
feel
you
like
grown. That's the whole it
my
going.
only
That's what I'm
danger
gonna be
is
All right,
saying.
telling
so
my
look,
kids
I'm gonna
that,
tell you
right?
something that's supposed to be shameful. And I'm gonna tell you something that's supposed to be shameful, but it is who it is. It is what it is, and it is who I am. I love it. It really tripped me out just then. I was a big body
wow.
See,
child. I was a C cup. I was wearing my mama clothes at 11 years old.
Wow.
see,
Yeah, exactly.
like this is what I'm
Well, my
saying. You
I'm
mama
not
told me,
even gonna lie. I be listening to people on TikTok. Y'all be having a completely different life than I had when I wasn't even interested in boys yet.
the world a big place, yo.
That
I ain't
you know
gonna
what?
lie to you, yo.
was funny.
The
Let
world
me,
a
let me
big place, yo.
I would like to say that I was raised jacked up, but my mother was the epitome of a strong black woman. She got 3 college degrees. She moved from the country with an outhouse to the projects to an all white neighborhood where we were the only black family for 7 years. My mother had a Benz before she was 40. She got a $250,000 house. She had insurance. We didn't have to have a fish fry to bury her. You understand? So, but I chose. I wanted to see what the dudes in the hood was about because she took me out of that. That was interesting to me. I chased that. I was raised right.
That definitely happened.
Oh, I'm not questioning
I was,
if you were raised white. I'm just saying it's. I listen to people on TikTok and
and
everyone seems to have a completely different life than how I grew up. It's just so amazing to me. Like I wouldn't have never thought like at at your age, at that age, I was not even interested in boys. You couldn't pay me to
yeah,
look
I
a
was still
boy's
playing
way.
with dogs, but I was making them hump.
It depends on the environments. That's all. It's the
Hey, yo!
environments, how you grew up, all that stuff. Everybody grew up different.
So dude is wilding in the back. Three swords. I got him weak back there.
Nah, you
You know what
killing me,
I'm
Johnny.
following you. He back there weak. Yo, no, I do stand up comedy for real, y'all. That's what, like real talk.
Nah,
I
that's
told you
a
she a
W.
celebrity, man. Y'all
You
playing
funny
though.
as
What?
hell, yo. Nah, you funny as hell, yo.
Look,
That's a
and look,
That
real
was
W,
talk.
yo.
crazy.
I tell
Oh,
the
I'm
truth.
gonna
Hey, but
follow you back.
yeah, yeah, I followed you
Yeah,
because I like when I meet somebody that
let
got
me
common
follow
sense.
you,
I follow
yo.
you. Now, real talk. I'm ignorant. I'm what you call ignorant. Like I got, but I don't use it. You understand? Like, I know I shouldn't pop you in the lip, but I don't give a fuck at that moment. You understand? Like, that's how I think about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like you know when you sit back and contemplate. You know, can I go to jail today? Do I got bond money? Will somebody come get
Hey,
me?
that's a
Like I
fact.
think
You
about
contemplate
it.
that. That's interesting.
Hey, that's a fact. I'm at that point, like right now. They making it so hard in Maryland for me to get my license. I'm like, I got bond money. I'm gonna
I just
drive.
got a letter. I just got a letter in the
I'm
mail
about to
today from
drive.
Virginia. I owe $12,168. And that's just the next state because, like, yeah, I got a pass. I told you I used to do things. So I owe 12. I got the letter. I said, well, I guess I'm a bus ride motherfucker for the rest of my life.
Hey,
I
you
guess
with
I will be
me?
paying. I guess I'll be paying crackers $10 to take me anywhere I need to go for the rest of my life. Do you understand me? I'll never drive again, or at least legally.
She
You
said
with
at least
me?
legally.
I know how to drive. You can teach me
She
to car.
crazy.
I'm gonna pull off.
That's
But
the
I'm just
only.
saying.
Hey, I think bail money and the knowledge of knowing how to drive is the only thing stopping the motherfuckers from driving.
Yeah.
You said,
You don't know how to drive?
If you know how to drive, no, I'm saying if you know how to drive and you got bail money, there's nothing that should stop you from
yeah,
driving.
that's it. You drive. I got a
No, there
license.
should be a lot of things that stop you.
Like what?
What do
What?
you mean,
See,
like
look,
what? The
so
fact
different.
that you.
She was so different, baby. She was,
What do you
Yeah,
look,
mean,
she
nah,
like,
like
I'm
what?
not.
because
Everything.
the law. Oh my God, the law says you shouldn't. Oh my God,
Yeah,
I can't.
No, no,
I'm
no.
not.
That's not why I'm saying that. It has nothing
What,
to do
what is
with
it?
the law.
What is it
I,
then?
I, for me, it's the fact that I want to make sure you no one gets hurt.
No, 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 no. We're not saying.
Oh,
He said
Be
if you know
quiet,
how to
Craig.
drive,
Hey,
it's not
I'm
bill
not
money.
gonna lie to you.
My
Check this
son
out,
think
bro.
he know how to drive, and that's why I say that. People think they know how to drive,
Oh,
but they don't really know. So my
No,
son
I'm
will
oh,
talking
sit
about
there
you
and
gotta know how to drive.
no, but we talk
Illegal
about people
drivers
like
are
me
the
with their
safest
license.
drivers.
But like I got
okay,
my
you.
license. It wasn't for driving bad. It was for criminal charges in the past based on the stuff that I
Yeah.
went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I used to go to Walmart and walk 65-inch TVs out while waving at the security guard. Yeah.
What do you mean? How am I supposed to know that? How was I
Listen,
supposed to know
that's
that?
what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Because I understand your reaction based on what you thought it was. And what we're saying is we know how to drive. We actually physically can
Facts.
drive a car well. And if we got the
Facts.
bail money when
Okay.
the police officer stop us, then that's
Okay,
the
that
necessity.
makes more sense.
It
That's
is
Okay.
what it
the to have
is.
a
You feel
license.
me?
Okay, I get that. I can get that. Okay.
When he pulled me over, I'm gonna let him know. He be like, license and registration. I'm like, I got my bail money in the trunk, bro.
Exactly.
Let's just
Look,
go
look,
ahead and get this over with.
Just
You know
grab that
what
in the
I'm
back.
By the time by the
I
time
came
you get
prepared.
out, the bail money ain't gonna be there no more. Those
Oh
those cops
nah,
gonna
nah.
take
See,
that.
I done did all this
Those cops
overtime for
gonna take
this.
that.
I might have a
Them
whole
hey,
cops
but
slew
you
of
gonna
ain't
take
lying,
time.
that.
man.
I'm gonna
You're
have a
not,
whole
yeah,
slew of other
you right
times
about
if they
that.
talk about we don't know where that bail money at. I'm having a whole slew of other times.
Exactly. No, but I had $257 in
I'll
my.
throw more
They're like, this
charges.
ain't nothing.
I
This
have a
ain't
slew
nothing.
more charges.
Hey, look,
Ah,
I'm glad I can make y'all laugh. I followed everybody, but I'm running out my data now. That's the only reason why y'all can hear me because I'm using my data. I'm going to get back on my food stamp Wi-Fi, and I will follow everybody. And y'all have a lovely day,
All
okay?
right, you too.
you
Appreciate
too.
you,
Hey, man,
man.
Thank
you have a
you.
wonderful day, yo. Oh man, yo,
Wait,
you
so
got me
Three World, are
crying.
you from New York?
No, I'm from Maryland. I'm from the
Maryland,
DMV.
okay.
Yeah, Landover.
Okay.
She said she was 15 when she got that thing up. Oh my.
That's the age I was when I lost my virginity. 15.
Her story is very interesting, actually.
Oh yeah, she got a deep story. Yes, it's
See, that's
It
why
funny.
is
I be
very
only thing I'm
interesting.
worried about after I tell my kids. What I tell them is like, if I had a son, he'd go to a prostitute or something.
What? He would go to a prostitute?
If I tell him he can't have sex because the way he's gonna feel because kids don't
Oh,
know
you're
how what
worried he
sex
would go to
is
a
and all
prostitute.
that, I would be worried that he thinks, well, I'm gonna go to somebody that knows what sex is. That would be my worry.
That's I think a legitimate fear, actually.
Fatty's mommy. What's the deal? Welcome to the
I
live.
think that's a legitimate. I would be worried about that. But I told both of my kids when they're ready or when they think they're ready, come to me and I'll make sure to set it
Right,
up. Like, I mean, my oldest son has already done it. At the end of the day, it's the truth. He has. It's not. It wasn't my choice,
right.
obviously, but
Of course.
it's
I mean, as long as you put it
it's
in their
happened.
head, man.
But he
So
was
we
very
That's the
we
safe.
can't
real.
control them. We
See,
can't
that's the
control them
real
to.
of it. You
He
can't
told
really
me.
control or
He
prevent
told
these
me when
things
it
from happening.
happened. He told me when it happened, but I told them both. I said, like, if you can wait, come and tell me, and like, we'll make sure you have everything.
It looks the way.
You know,
I
we'll make
called
sure we
both of
have
them right at the end of the
everything.
live.
Hmm.
No, I was saying I called Dwayne and King at the end of the day live. Right when they got off, I called both of them.
King Bonwa, which king?
King and Dwayne, you know the two that always together
Hopefully
on
not too
the
soon, Double
business.
D.
I don't know.
Hopefully he
I
ain't
don't know.
coming too soon.
No, not that. Not his. Not.
You put condoms in your medicine cabinet just to be on the safe side. Why don't you just put them on in a bowl on the coffee table?
What? Why would you put it on the coffee table?
Why not?
No, I don't want everybody that walk in my house to know.
I also don't want everybody that's in my house to ask for aspirin to also see the condoms in the medicine cabinet.
Got some aspirins.
I would just keep those shits in my bedside drawer or something.
Oh my!
Like, yo, you got some Tylenol, yo? Yeah, it's in the medicine cabinet.
We got some stuff
right
that make
next,
your head hurt, and we
right
got some
next
stuff
to the
that get
magnums.
taken away.
Right next
I
to the
sit right next
magnums.
to the magnums. I'm done.
That's right.
I'm done.
All you gotta do is move
That's
the
not how
magnums
that's
in my.
supposed to go.
All you gotta do
That's
is move the
crazy.
magnums and the high blood pressure medication to the side. That's the right
First
there,
of all, if you have high blood
bro.
pressure, please don't be having sex. Please don't.
That's funny.
Oh man, hey, I'm just fooling you.
Um, mm.
I mean, I do, but I think at the end of the day, I think pushing the whole like, hey, can you guys try to wait as long as you can before having sex is more of a realistic ask versus telling your kids not to to abstain, because at the end of the day, if you make it seem like it's demonized, they're not going to tell you, and then
Why do that
they're
gotta be
gonna.
considered demonized? It's just the way you present it and teach your child. That's all it is. You ain't gotta
Because at the end of the day, when they
say that
start
it's
going
wrong.
to
You know what I'm saying?
school,
But just tell them the
they're gonna start asking
circumstances.
you questions,
But
Of
yeah,
course,
like
and
and
that's gonna
I
make
I
them
don't.
feel
believe me,
like
I'm
it's
gonna be ready. But I
demonized.
don't think every parent was ready to parent. That's the thing. So you got to know the right things to say for real. You got to learn
That's so
learn
true.
what you learn from and teach them the same way. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just that simple. Just say don't do it. You got to explain why you shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta be
I mean, of
honest though. Is
course,
my
that goes
thing.
with
You
it, but at the end
can't.
of the day, they still are gonna have hormones, and they're gonna still want to do it.
Of
So,
course, of
so
course.
that's why you
We
have
were
to still
once
leave
kids
it
too.
open.
We
You
were
have to leave it
kids too,
open
but
so it
it's
won't
better
be like a
than not
bad time.
trying at all. You know what I'm saying?
You,
I'm not about to just say
but my thing
just
is, you gotta be honest, bro. I don't want my kid to go to school, right, and hear their teacher say something that contradicts something that I told them because I lied.
I would
man. If you don't mute yourself,
I just say
cracking up.
with this condom that y'all talking about, that I put in my medicine cabinet. Oh, I put it in my medicine cabinet because I don't care what they if they do or they don't. I got 3 kids right now that don't have kids and they're grown, and I
There
got
you
2
go.
that do have kids. So I did something right.
I
No,
put
I'm not.
we
I
Yeah,
put
get you, man. We just
I
making
get.
the cabinet jokes, man.
Yeah,
Dang, you gonna need an
I think
aspirin right next to the condoms in a minute after
it's a very
that.
good
you don't need an
message to
ass.
have like condoms free for use in your house. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'd
Definitely.
rather be safe than sorry because I don't need no more kids. You know, I got a 16-year-old. Well, he's 17 now, and I got condoms in my medicine cabinet right now,
Definitely. But
today.
how old is he?
He's 17 now.
He better go buy some condoms.
Hey, why? He can get them free on a medical card.
Yeah, guy, buy some
Oh, I
condoms,
get
man.
you. You
Oh
got the
yeah, get them
medical
for
card,
free.
boy.
Yeah, get
Exactly.
them for
He can
free.
get them
Yeah,
free on a
yeah, yeah.
medical card. Get out of here.
I don't
You
want
can
no
trust
free.
those
I don't want
things.
no
They
free
might be too
condoms though.
small.
Yeah, I don't want no free
Too bad.
condoms.
No, the
Too
medical
bad.
Too bad. That's
cards.
like pointless then.
Like what?
Just
Guess what?
decoration.
And guess
Yeah,
what?
like what?
They never used them. Remember that. They never used them.
They still
Oh
in the
my.
they still
But
in the medicine
it's
cabinet.
there. That's what I'm saying. It's there.
They still in the medicine cabinet. You gotta
My,
listen to me. You
I
gotta be
keep,
more
I
aggressive and
keep,
put them in the coffee bowl on the table
I
in the
put them,
front in the living
I
room.
put them in my kid's side dresser. You know, like the
Bro, she having a whole conversation and cracking stuff. What the heck?
talking to you. I'm saying I put them in the nightstand for
What are
my
you cracking?
kids.
You got a
Yeah,
I'm
whole
keep
walking.
going, keep
everything
going,
back there.
keep
I'm
going.
telling you what I do. I put them in my kids' nightstands. They know they're there.
That's good. And she got
I hear
flip
you.
flops on.
Oh, that's her
I
walking.
don't
What the?
have.
That's why I'm saying. What the heck
I'm
is
walking
that?
home. I'm
She
walking
walking
home.
on horse feet self.
And she
No,
got the
those
flip
that's my
flops
bag.
on.
Sorry.
Oh, get in your head.
And you know, it's so weird. It's so weird when you ask the doctor that all of a sudden everybody pokes their head out the rooms and stuff just to look at you, you know? I mean, why are they embarrassed about that? He said, Granny, look at everybody looking. I said, oh well, get over it.
Mm.
Shoot, we don't need no more babies coming in this world. Trust me.
So they embarrassed about condoms?
No, no, I'm talking about the doctors and everybody, people looking out, you know, the nurses and stuff looking out the
Oh.
thing like it was something scary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You should be used to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is that? That's scary. That's scary if you don't know what it is.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm
What
sure
the
that everybody know what it is, you know, and so
all
do
I
he.
know is raw.
Yeah, but you know,
That's
kids gonna
scary.
be
That's
kids.
scary as
And
fuck.
I'm not gonna chastise him for that, you know?
They call me raw already.
Right. I'm not gonna
I'm
chastise him for that.
I'm a chastise him. Keep your nasty
I'm
little
not.
dick in your
I'm not.
pants. Little
I'm
young ass. Keep your nasty little
That's gonna
dick in
make it
your
even
pants.
worse, trust me.
Little young, little young ass.
He gonna be sneaky, he or she gonna sneak around as much as they can.
I call the police.
Uh,
Arrest them. Oh man,
I'm playing,
What you expect for the police to do?
them too, right over there.
lock up everybody.
Oh my
Here
God.
go the cowboy again.
Shut up.
Lock everybody up.
Now, what if
See
they're
why
the
we
same
don't
age?
work
That's what
out,
I'm saying.
man.
What if they're the same age? They can't get locked up.
Well, we don't work out because of
Lock
you.
both of them up. Ain't neither one of them consent.
Ah,
Charge them both with the same charge.
no way.
Or matter of fact, you right. You right. Lock me up. I failed. Lock me up. I don't want to deal with this no way.
I would never
Lock me
say I
up.
failed. I would never say that to myself. I would never say that. Never in my
Nah,
life I would say
yeah.
that.
I've
I'm
fallen
playing.
and I
It's
can't
definitely
get
not
up.
failing. It's definitely not failing as a parent your kid exercise. I'm joking. It's definitely not
I
failing.
know. I know you
It's
is.
it's just one aspect of life. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
Like you said, kids gonna be kids. They gonna do what they do, man.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just be, I just be prepared. I
Exactly.
just be
Now you
prepared.
you got the perfect message. It's being prepared for if and when it does happen, because you gotta be there for
Exactly.
your kids. You know what I'm saying? When they
Exactly.
do something stupid and they feel bad about it, they regret it. You gotta be there for them,
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
and you can't be there to beat them up, to tell them they
No.
stupid. You know what I'm saying?
No,
To
I
tell
ain't
them
gonna
they
do
fucked
that.
I
up.
mean, it's a thin line, man, because it's like a different line. It's a thin line between pandering and you gotta have it like gotta be a balance though,
Once we talk about
because and it
teenagers,
depends
though,
on the
right?
kid too.
Thank
Because
you.
if
Exactly.
you baby it, because some kids will what's that junk called? They will take advantage too. Like, oh, it wasn't
If you're a
he ain't do me
teenager,
that
though,
bad, so I'm gonna
right?
do it again.
If you're 14 to 17-year-old, right, doesn't know empathy, doesn't know guilt, doesn't know shame, doesn't know this is wrong, right? Have their own set of morals. What have you been doing for 14 years, bro?
Right.
You sending this little monster out in society. There he going to school. He a monster. He ain't got no empathy. He ain't got no morals, no guilt. Nah, bro. Like, what have you done? You done raised Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh my.
Most kids know, like, this ain't right. Even when they do something like, I shouldn't be doing this. This ain't right. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And
Yes.
when they come to you like, hey ma, hey dad, I messed up. You don't need to be like, yeah, you fucked up. You done. They've come to that realization. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel
see,
you on that. They
see,
gotta
you
have
know what?
somebody to talk
See,
to.
see what
Right.
happened was my grandmother, when my sister came up and she was pregnant, right? My grandmother beat the mess out of her. And see, I didn't want to do something like that. I would never do nothing like that.
You
That
right,
is
because
so
then who
scary.
am I go to if I don't trust you? If I go
Exactly.
to you and get cussed out, I go to you and get beat on. But if I go to this dude that sell crack and he don't beat on me, he don't cuss me out, he helped me with my problems, who am I gonna look up
He
to?
gonna help you all right. Take some of
Exactly.
this.
No, of course, but as a kid, I don't realize that. I don't realize his real motivation in helping me is to make sure I sell crack for him later down the line. I don't
I got
realize that.
something to motivate you real quick.
Yeah, you
Look.
know what I'm saying? I don't realize that, but that's how I get caught up because my parents ain't there to motivate me and be that
And
shoulder
he
to
helped
cry
you
on,
out.
I
man.
He
feel
helped
you.
you
I
out.
feel you.
He helped you out.
Exactly. And he helped me
I
out,
think
so
it's
now
all
I
about
respect him.
knowing your child, because I know every child is different.
Definitely knowing your child, bro. Knowing what your child can handle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, are you thinking, right? Are a lot of parents thinking, when I give my 15-year-old this condom, can he handle having sex? Or can she
Mm,
handle having sex? I know I have to protect them anyway, right? But
right.
should I be giving them this condom? Should I be giving them this message of this is what you do when you do it? Or should I be sitting them down and telling them you're not ready? Because I know you
Yeah,
and you're not ready
you
for
can
this.
talk to your face is blue, but they still gonna do what they gotta do and what they wanna do. These
You right
boys
Hey, it
these
is
though.
what
girls,
it
these
is.
little fast
I
girls,
never
these
got that
fast
though. So
men.
what is the point of I never got why people do that. They're gonna do what they but the thing is still put the message out.
Right,
Yeah,
That
you
sound like
gotta give
parents
them the
right,
that gives
warning.
up. That sound
You
like
gotta
just
give them the
giving up.
right,
warning. You gotta give
right.
them the warning.
They're gonna
It's
do what they're
like
gonna
this
do,
to
so
me,
I'm not
right?
gonna tell them that they shouldn't fight. They're gonna do what
Right.
they're gonna do. I'm not gonna no, we gonna
We can
keep
always
trying.
keep telling.
You should always talk to your kids.
Yes,
Always.
exactly. That's why I don't like. I never like that. I don't know if that's like a deflect thing or a debunk thing or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I never got the point of saying that,
Nah, the
even though
point
we
is
know they're
saying
gonna do
it.
what they're gonna want to do. You know what I'm saying?
The
Of
You
point
know
is
what
course
I
we
say?
saying
I
know
it,
that.
tell
right?
parents if they don't, you know what I tell parents? I said, if you don't want to talk to your child about it, ask your doctor to do it. Ask your doctor if you're afraid. You know,
But
they
you,
would
Right,
talk to your
but
child.
this why
right.
you gotta do it because it gotta be you to like bro say your child. But this what I'm saying, kid. The reason why people say, especially parents, right, is
Yeah,
because parents have to be sure, especially and I respect, especially when they're talking to people that don't have kids, right, that people are speaking in reality.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Not speaking in the sense of a parent supposed to have these magic words that bind a child to a seat, right? But in reality of this is a human being that someone's dealing with.
Right.
They gonna do what human beings do, and that's whatever the fuck we want to do. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But
And
my
they see
thing,
that.
this is my thing. How you pronounce your name, love?
Leona.
Oh, Leona.
Leona.
Uh-huh.
I'm just terrible with names. I don't ever want to mess up. But Leona, this is my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we in a tribe together, we in a pack together, right?
Uh-huh.
And you by go in the woods, I know there's a pack of wolves in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't tell you there's a pack of wolves in the woods, you go in there, you get eaten. That's on me. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When people come around, they always lay on the yo, three, you ain't tell her that there was wolves out, you know what I'm saying? But if I tell you and you go anyway, right?
Right.
I'm like, yo, I told Leona not to go in the woods. She went in the woods. And it's no longer, I know that sounds selfish, right? But I think as a parent, it can't be on you.
Exactly.
You have to prepare your child with all the information. To give your child the best chance of life, to me, is giving them the whole information so they can make the dumbass decision on their own if they make this
Uh-huh.
dumbass decision.
And
Because
guess
that's
how
the
I
only
scare
way
my
you're going to
kids?
learn.
You know how I scare them? I said, y'all out here working, right? You come here with a baby, your money gone.
Real
Your money
shit.
gone.
And that's real life. That's real
Your money is gone.
life.
That's scare them.
That's real life, yo.
Heck yeah. That money
Yeah,
gone.
just the
You
way
could
you
get
do it,
that.
man. The
That's
way you
child support.
deliver it. It can be done. They just gotta. I mean, even though everything don't
You
work the
gotta
way we
know
want
your
it to
kid.
sometimes.
Your
So,
kid care
so
Yeah,
about money that will
yeah.
work. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be slick like my boy like video games. Boy, you ain't getting that new PlayStation 13
Yeah,
if you try to go get a gun.
exactly. You
Gotta
gotta
get something
find
they're
your
interested
child
in. That's all.
I'm gonna drop down and
motivation.
finish tapping.
Oh yeah, for
All right,
sure. You
love.
already know.
I gotta go too. My people just got home. Appreciate you, Kev, yo.
Oh yeah, for sure. You already know.
You have a good life, yo. All love, yo.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh, the shoe clappers finally took a break. Good, good. What she was doing down there? But just in general, man, I know all the all the circumstances and all that stuff. It's just this message in general, man. We gotta, even though a lot of adults they don't feel like it, and it ain't got nothing to do with it mattering for a relationship and all that stuff. It's just we gotta. This is a good form to at least put in your kid's head that it's a lot of problems behind the situation, and the more people you mess with, the more you're gonna be getting messed with. Because like people really don't realize that do mess with your, even though they say it's a spiritual thing and all that stuff, but it do mess up with your pickings, and it gives you like a lot of people rock. Why a lot of people don't realize they got this so high sex drive because they've been always, the more they racking up, the more they getting this feeling, and the more they get addicted to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it do matter the more, like, because then like a lot of people they can get it so much that like it's hard to satisfy them. You know what I'm saying? Or and that's just how it is. It's a lot of stuff that comes behind the situation. So we can't, and it affects the relationship because people don't know the difference between love and lust. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they're in love because of this situation. They determine it off of how good the sex is, or they determine it all. And that's not real love. That's not real love right there. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta all that stuff really do matter no matter how we want to look at it. Even if we try to feel like it don't, you know what I'm saying? Some people it probably don't, but overall it do matter. You know what I'm saying? It matters no matter how we want to look at it. It might not matter for you to get in a relationship with somebody or to get along with or whatever, but it still matters because it still makes some type of impact on us. Just that feeling or that desire, it does something to us, you know? So we can play it how we want. We can act like we emotionalists. And I know people be like, oh, I do no emotions attached. No matter how it is, that feeling is still something. It still gets in your memory. It still gets, you know what I'm saying? No matter how we want to look at it, it is there. It's still there. That's why I said that even with, I would choose a person to have be a virgin. You know what I'm saying? I'll have my chick, my my kids to be you know what I'm saying, don't know nothing about it. It's better to not know nothing about it and be curious. I'd rather have that. You know what I'm saying? Because you could still have it and still be curious. It don't even really matter. Because you're going to always think it's something better and better, but not knowing that feeling, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's an even slimmer chance. You know, so, because like I said, it's like me getting introduced to a new food. That's just like cigarettes. That's how that started. You heard about it so much. I heard to do this, I heard to do that. But until you actually smoke that, that's when it became an addiction. Some people had a bad first experience. It was just like me when I first drank when I was little and stuff or whatever, which I shouldn't. But whatever. I drank. I had a bad experience the first time. You know what I'm saying? But I still knew the feeling. So that's why it took me a year or a couple years later to go back to doing it, and I started having it be part of my life. Nah, I ain't saying it was bad. I was bad at it, but now I just know that feeling that it's like chill, it make me feel chilled and all this stuff or whatever. Even though I had a bad experience, I still had the feeling, right? Or I still was curious about maybe another drink might do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel just like about how sex is. Even if you start off with bad, or you know that it's so-called bad sex, from what Beauty was saying about that, right? She knew that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But still, you know, that feeling is still there. Like, you know, that's something you just because you hearing it about it, you know that feeling. So you got at least a hunch of it. So you might, maybe I got to try something different. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's better to not know it all, you know what I'm saying? Or keep it in the mind that, like, hey, this should be held for a special, for the person I'm choosing to be with the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So that you can get out of a lot of these problems. Like, I mean, with all that, it's like you got that. That's why people got this cheating mentality, why they feel like they're going to get cheated on. That's why they got this insecurities, these traumas, these, all this addictions, not feeling satisfied or not happy. You know, so it's so much stuff that comes behind, with the bodies. You know what I'm saying? It's so much that come behind it, and people just, of course, a lot of people is not going to own up to it. I could talk about it a lot because I chose to be celibate for the last couple years. So I know, you know what I'm saying? I know that I really wasn't not missing out on nothing. A lot of people do feel like this is part of their life. I need to do this, or this the only way I can function is doing this, and I won't be able to pick. You know what I'm saying? But I realized the power of this situation that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I realized that it was more damage than anything. It made me go to clubs and all this stuff that I really didn't need to be going in. It made me start making choices off of how people look. Like, man, maybe she can make this thing feel right. You know what I'm saying? Even if we don't want to own up to it, it's still in the subconscious. We still gonna think about it that way. So that's just being human. You know what I'm saying? We be lying to ourselves. We don't be honest with ourselves. So we be trying to play ourselves and act like we don't have no type of attachments. If we ain't have no type of attachment, why you getting it then? Why you looking for it then? You know what I'm saying? But people be lying to themselves. If it wasn't no type of attachment, you wouldn't be looking for it. That just be funny. People just be funny to me. But this message getting to the kids. We cannot think that kids gonna think like us. You know what I'm saying? They need to know that, hey, no, you don't want to be racking it up. You don't want to be having it casual and all that stuff, because you will be in a lot of situations. You will be picking wrong based off you know what I'm saying? You will probably might get addicted to it. You might not get satisfied the way you want. You will look through happiness through that. You'll be using this as a stress reliever. You need to find other ways to relieve your stress rather than that, or you're gonna be picking wrong and picking your partners based off of it. You know what I'm saying? So this, no matter how you want to look at it, it does matter overall. It's a reason why you're supposed to find your person and keep it between y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know, we wouldn't have to worry about cheating and all. You know, that's where all this stuff is coming from. That's why people insecure lie. I think this person gonna cheat on me. I think, you know, I don't know, I don't trust it. Let me, why your phone is flipped upside down, like all this crazy stuff, man. You don't realize that's what centers behind the situation. Once they, you know, some of them went through then got their back blew out and all this stuff, they really going crazy after that. You know what I'm saying? They about to look at every last piece of your social media and all that stuff. They trying to make sure. That's why I said, if they feel like, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because if a person, I looked at it this way, if a person feel like you can't resist them, they gonna feel like you can't resist the next person. You know what I'm saying? If they can do anything to spark you up, and the next minute you just, baby, I can't even, thank you, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna think you was easy, because you easy with your partner, and you couldn't set no standards, say, hey, no, we about to wait. You know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure we good with each other before anything, you know, go. You know what I'm saying? Let you know that I got full control of my stuff. You ain't got control of my stuff. I'm gonna let you know that. You know what I'm saying? Then your partner will look at you like, hey, this dude, you know what I'm saying? It's a slim chance of him cheating. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If y'all willing to both wait, you know what I'm saying? At least you know you in it for the real thing. You know you in it for real love. You know what I'm saying? But people don't see it though, because we're so driven off of money and sex. Just this point in time, that's just how it is now, and people don't really realize the problems behind it. You know, just looking at just them two things, and that's what's kind of running the world and stuff. But I think once you got them two things, or the need or the wants for it, you know what I'm saying? Of course we need money, but I'm just saying like the love of it and stuff. Once, and then people love sex, so like both of it is just, once you got that under control, I think you'll look at life a better way. You'll be less stressed and stuff when you find out you can relieve stress from not just that. You wouldn't be stressing over it because you think that's the only thing that you can relieve stress with. You know, that's what a lot of people talking about. I be hearing that too, and I had to realize when I was on my journey, like, oh, you gonna be so stressed and all that stuff. That's why I said I always dig to, like, why? What am I stressing for me to have to need something to relieve my stress? So where's the source of this stress coming from? People don't never think about that. Like, how are you living a stressed life? You don't never ask yourself, why are you stressing for? You always got to dig to the root of that. A lot of us be using things as coats to coat things, or maybe I could take an aspirin to relieve the stress, or Tyler, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I can, you know, I got to go to the mall or something to relieve the stress. Like, but where is this stress coming from? You got to always remember that, because all you're doing is covering it up from now, and that means that it can come back another time. No matter, it could come back because all you did was a quick little moment to take your mind off of whatever stress you got, and it's going to come back. It's just something you know what I'm saying? That's just like happiness. You got to take somebody else to make you happy. You know, that means you're relying on that person to keep you happy. You got to find something within yourself to keep you happy. Something you can always go back to when that person is not around, so you know you can be happy for yourself. You know, but if you determine on somebody else to waver your happiness, then you can be living in misery. That means they kind of wrapped around your finger. I mean, yeah, I said it right. I have to make sure that that's a harsh life to go. You know, but man, let me see something real quick. You know, see, got some water. I always forget I need some water. I guess I can wait. I'll wait. Something like that. All right. But yeah, man, we gotta yeah, we gotta stop this, man. Cause I don't know. Like I said, I think people be trying to say this stuff to savor people's feelings so they can feel better. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about that, man. Feelings is a temporary thing. You need to find a way to get out your own feelings and stop looking for everybody else to keep your feelings intact. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. You gotta look at for everybody else because you in your feelings. At the end of the day, all of us, we made our mistakes in our life. We done went through things in our life, you know, all type of stuff. We got to figure a way to get over it, you know. Uh, because like, who want to sit here and live in misery until we in our grave? You know what I'm saying? Like, people literally don't understand. Tomorrow is not promised to none of us. Tomorrow is not promised to none of us. That's why you gotta at least try to have a smile on your face before you go to bed. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Your little second, you not promised to make it back home when you leave out the house. You know what I'm saying? People be living life so on easy cruise mode and, you know, and thinking it's just like had this entitlement mentality that, hey, this is what's gonna happen because I planned it this way. Things don't always go to plan. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be thankful that the plan even made it through any plan that you have. You gotta be thankful for it. So we gotta stop giving up on our kids for real. We got to. I keep saying our kid, but I'm just saying in general, even though I don't have kids, but we gotta stop giving up on the youth in general. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do them, they're gonna end up, we gotta stop giving up, man. I know all we be caring about is our own happiness most of the time, but at the end of the day, we gotta at least be a little selfless and think about what's behind us or how we impacting the people that's looking up to us. We gotta do that. Because all we caring about is just the life we living. And this life is not going, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if our ancestors thought the same exact way. You know what I'm saying? Didn't pave a way for us, didn't do something for us to get to where we at now. You know, that they were just selfish and just living their life like, hey, I gotta be the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us just selfish. We don't see how we got here. You know, it was people that cared about us before us that got us here. So why we can't do the same for our next? Understand we do gotta live life, but sure we can still live life in a selfless type way. It ain't always gotta be about the self. Yeah, at least think about your next move. Make sure your next move don't impact the next person. Because like somebody else's next move or impacted you for the worse, you know. You wouldn't like nobody never put themselves in other people's shoes. Like do something that's gonna uplift all of us. Just like you would want the same for you. Somebody to do something that's gonna uplift you. Or put you in a better position or something like that, you know? Gonna be crazy, man. Oops. Maybe just be too selfish, man. I hear one person keep talking about don't use. I don't know. That's so crazy. I forgot about to say, but people, man, I be saying nowadays that is the thing. People be more selfish than anything. They care about their feelings. And a lot of people, like I said, they speak a good game on here. They can speak games like they really looking to help people, but they not. You know, people don't even really take the time to understand people because they so busy looking to be understood. I mean, that be their thing. I just want you to understand me. That ain't all about that. You got to start understanding everyone around you. You know what I'm saying? Just like you will want that person to understand you. You got to at least try to understand who you talking to or understand who you hanging around with. Really, and to do that, sometimes it takes you have to be quiet for a while to understand who you talking to or who you interacting with, or you know, that way you know how to, connect with one another. Yeah. Uh, hey, get a water. I gotta get the water. I keep saying that. Pretty sure we don't want a lot of our. We keep saying we want our kids to be a better version than us, and we teach them all the worst things. that makes no sense. We teach them the same mistakes. Hey, I did that. My kid might do what I did. Like, why do we give up on the youth so early? Why do we? Because it don't align with your life or something like that? Because you don't feel like you'll be happy enough making this type of sacrifice? I'm a firm believer that we got to practice what we preach to even get a message across. Because a lot of people, especially as under us, they will not understand the message if you don't practice what you preach. We be living this do what I say, not as I do life. That junk gets confusing, and that's why these kids turning these 40-year-olds today, these 80-year-olds, all that stuff today that got this type of mindset, crying on the app and all that stuff because we living that do as I say, not as I do lifestyle. You know, people don't. Mm, People don't notice how damaged it is. Like I said, and they don't want to own up to why they feel that. Why is it like that? Oh man. Let's see something real quick. Oh dang, my bad. You told me call me taking a break. No, I was looking at a video. I was looking at these lives. Let's see something. That's funny. Oh, sheesh. All right, let me get it back on. I need to give me some water. I keep saying it, but I do got to get up and give me some water.
Hello. Well, hello.
Tiziana. What's the deal?
Yeah. Wait,
Hmm?
how is it going?
I am going nice. I'm going good. I'm going great, blessed. What about you?
I love that. No, it's pretty good. Do you know that today I had a live? I pedaled 20 miles with my son, and
Ooh.
I went on a live because the course, is so beautiful. And
Mhm.
I had like 100 people, and then halfway after the 10 miles, I just stopped the live because I needed to hear some music to start pedaling the hills. I needed some.
Mhm.
So, but it was beautiful, sunny. Day 31, raw vegan, going
Okay,
strong.
we on 31. We getting somewhere. You got another
I'm a third of the
less than
way.
60 minutes. Hmm?
It's less than a third. A third of the way is out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
What
good.
you trying to get small on us or something?
I've tried to get healthy. It's
I
like,
get you. I get you. I get you. Look at that. I mean, you look like you had, like you was. Mm, but you doing your thing though, man.
yeah, yeah. And it's like right now is the time. Um, I never bike so much in my like from a while as long that I remember being a child.
Hmm.
So now I'm building muscle. So I try to avoid the scale because it's not really telling you, you know, what you
Hmm.
really is why you're building muscle. You still gain weight, but
Right.
there at one point, it's a process. It doesn't happen like Cinderella. Like, oh, it's done. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hmm.
Here I am.
On. There she go. It's Tiziana. She says she. On body count for me, it's a matter of many, who many, who many more, than
You
how
know what?
many more.
Those conversation is like does body counts? It's like to me, I have to say, okay, this is the new generation. It's like they live in another era, another thinking. But to me, honestly, isn't the body count? It's first of all, it's our body, right? And it's our experience. It's not like to be deceiving if you choose not to share, because when you meet the person, that's what's really going on. I saw people that they share, and it was all dandy while they were together. And then the relationship got sour because somebody else. And that's one of the terrible experience you can have, that in a moment of trust, you share a thought like a therapist almost. And then when the person is no longer in love with you, he use that against you. That's that's my take on that. It doesn't matter. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. If you worry about that, then there is say more about you that is say about you, who you can be as a partner.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, I think that if a man asks me body count, I say, peace and love, gotta go. It's not worth it, you know what I mean? That's the mindset. So
What's
we don't have
that?
if a man asks me the body count, right? It just come, I can understand where it come from. It may be great for another type of person, but for me,
Mm. Well, I don't think a man gonna ask. That's weird. I never heard that one. Because if they trying to get what they gonna get, they ain't gonna ask. But I think once you tell them, it's gonna be a whole nother look. But in general, do you think it do? Do you think it matter?
no.
You said
I
it don't
mean,
matter.
okay, remember that I'm seeking balance, right? So when I say it doesn't matter, I'm talking about a person that is balanced, that it doesn't go right and left, or you understand?
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like, but if a person is showing me that it's really not important, the body count, and that I like protection. This is my temple today, right? I abuse my in that perspective for a health reason. That's one thing, but for other perspective, no, it should not matter. If I see you as a person, as you are in this moment that I met you, it means that whatever it took you to get to the moment with your thinking, with your mind, with your heart, it's good for me. So should it really matter to me? How did you become the person that I'm interested in you right now?
Mm. So
Right?
would you? So now, since you said that, and getting to the topic, then would you teach that to your kids that it don't matter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we are healing together. I mean, I've been very candid with my
So you
life
said
and
it'd be good. Let them know that it's good to have like casual sex.
no, no. The day that they fall in love with the mind and the heart of a woman, okay, and they choose and they see that that's their soulmate, it shouldn't matter up to the day what was that woman past. It shouldn't. You should focus on
So if your
now.
son, so say if your son was or vice versa, If your son was a virgin, he got with a chick with 50 bodies, you gonna recommend that?
It's not my life to
Or would
live.
you rather have him be with another virgin? Let's just ask it in that way.
To be truthful, I'm overstepping. Who I am today is like, I already give the basis of what I believe to my children. Now they're grown adult. And to me, to limit their life experience, whatever that might be, it's wrong to me to call. Now, if you ask to a male
How?
version of course, it is wrong
Don't we
because,
always want what's best for our child? So I'm trying to see what will be best for your child and your stand. If you, would you want? Because I'm pretty sure we do everything in what's best for our child.
without overstepping, without overstepping, right? Let's say this. I told my children, as now adult, that their life and how they want to live it, it's their call, right? And the day that they are serious with a woman, just don't bring here like all the girls that you go out on a date. You know what I mean? But the day that you find the one that is hopefully is gonna be like a daughter to me, then bring her in. You know, that's as far as it goes. That's the understanding that we have. You know, and they have friends and stuff. You know, but I just don't want to overstep. It's their life.
So
And
okay, so I'm glad you said that. So which one you feel like will be more? How would you know that though? Would you trust a person that conserved their body or a person that just been giving it up?
of course, that concern their body. Of course,
Right, we get somewhere.
judge. But you understand what I mean? It's like I did a video this morning, and true, since yesterday, that's what I've been meditating a lot, right? To keep away the judgment. Just because I don't understand somebody, it's okay to say, "Hey, I hear you. I'm not you. I don't understand you." That's honest. But when I start to judge, well, I don't do that, and she does that. That's when I overstep. And I did this in the past, but I'm trying not to do that again. We can agree to disagree. Is when we pass judgment or we say, "Oh, she's asleep." I don't know why she's asleep, even if that's the case. Maybe she's suffering from something.
What's wrong
Maybe
with judgment?
because understanding is better than judging. That's my humble opinion. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, please explain. I can always revisit my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't want to be too
I think
inquisitive.
I think judgment is part of life, man. We made judgment. We can be wrong about it. We can be right about it. But if it's judgment, what's best for whatever the possible outcome, why not make a judgment on it? You know what I'm saying? We judge people when we tell somebody that they look good or pretty too. We judge somebody. You know, we that's just what we do. I don't get when people sit here and judge me that they don't like, then all of a sudden it's the worst thing in the world. Sometimes some judgments is constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Some judgment is the protect and judgment is a protection mechanism too that just built in us. You know, if I see a bunch of guys in a hoodie, I'm not going to make a false. I'm not going to not judge that situation and don't think I'm not going to get robbed. I'm not going to think that because I be seeing it a lot. That's just how it is. I'm not going to judge a lion, and not judge a lion. Not think they don't eat uh, uh greens or something. Where one lion got to drink, that don't eat bite humans. So I'm not doing that. So
I
ain't
know.
nothing wrong with that.
All I'm saying that sometimes is like they unheal me, like calling tuition, calling this, Sometimes I was right, right? But sometimes when I find out the whole story, I really feel bad because I passed judgment. Because sometimes you see a scene, right? And it just gives you that reaction. But then if you know more, then you understand better. So the judgment goes away, and that's the way we should be. But that's my humble opinion.
So I got another one there for you. People scared of hurt feelings around here. I see. So if you see, so say you got a son, right, and you got and he trying to. Let's switch it up then, since I know people scared to talk about women. So, say if you got a daughter, right, and you got a guy that's sitting there with a sagging his pants and all that stuff or whatever, and then you see another guy that's got the suit on, a nice dress, and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Who you will like 9 times out of 10 go for to take your daughter's hand in marriage? Your stuff muted.
What happened to talking to see how a person feel, how
No, I'm just
they
saying the first judgment is off the vision. We ain't gonna know until we talk to him.
maybe I'm the wrong person. I'm too balanced or trying to be balanced, because I
You
had
two
too much
what?
experience, through experience, right? I'm 53 year young, right? So through experience, you become, you evolve and trying to be better. So let's just say this is like, it doesn't matter to me the dress anymore. I don't go that easy.
Oh my. You
I,
gotta stick your
I think
chest
it,
out
I think
sometimes.
it
It ain't
is,
that hard, man. You know, darn well
I think there's a
you ain't picking
difference.
the guy with the pants sagging and stuff for your daughter. You already know that. You going for the suited and booty. You scared. You scared to hurt feelings. That's what it is, man. Like I said,
That is
no
not
matter how we
true.
want to look.
No, no, no. Ask me the right question. I'm not scared. At 53, after
I
therapy,
asked
I'm not
I asked
scared.
a plain question.
No, no. Ask me what I think, because when you say for your kids, it's different. Me, a man that come with saggy pants,
Oh,
we
there
have
is.
not much to talk about because he's not my kind of man. But that's me. I cannot put me on my children's choice.
Why not? If you want what's
I
best for your
think it,
children,
I
why
think it,
why would you let your children? If you think that your child might be making a bad decision, right? It, this is crazy. So this,
I think it, I
I don't
think
get
it's,
why you said so. That's man.
yeah, I think it's, judging as far as, what's, good and bad. That's what I think is judging, not by character. Judging as far as to say, oh, who is to say that what he's doing is bad or negative? Judging in that sense, we shouldn't judge in that sense because
We can judge
we don't
however
know
we want
someone's.
to. We all humans. Nobody ain't wrong for what they feel. That's just is what it is. We can check.
But you
We
can be
can not.
wrong.
We might
You
not
can
judge
be.
out loud, but we automatically judge in our head, so we can lie to ourselves all we want to. You know what I'm saying? So we know that's part of life. Just because you don't voice it, that don't mean you're not judging. This is funny.
I,
So I'm gonna ask you the
I don't.
question
I don't.
since it's
I
harder.
don't.
Then let me ask you a
I
question.
don't judge.
Then, huh?
Okay.
You don't.
I was gonna say I don't judge no one's actions. I'll judge their character, but not their actions.
Yeah, I guess. But I ask you this then. I'm gonna do the opposite. Now, say if you have a son, right, and he brung a girl with her cheeking out, cheeks all out and all that stuff or whatever, and he said, "I think I want to take her hand in marriage" or something like that, or if he brung a girl out that, what I'm saying, they got a nice dress on and all that stuff or whatever, like who would you go for?
Say it again, one more time. Say it one more time.
If your son seen the girl. Had two girls in front of him. One of them had the cheeks out and one of them had a dress on. Who you going for? Who you would think is more likely to be marriage material for your son?
Yeah. Okay. Um. See, I think different, but logically, statistically, and regularly, I go with the one without the cheeks out. But
Right.
the one without with the cheeks out, she could be doing that to judge my mentality, to
I
see if I
know.
judge a book by its cover. But
I know.
That's speculation. Yeah, I'm
I
reaching. I'm
know
reaching.
that, and that's why I'm saying our first judgment is our vision. We don't just know
Right,
somebody's heart until we talk to them. So we can act
right,
like we don't make judgments.
right,
we can,
right.
that's what I'm just getting to.
I don't know.
That's
When
And
you
all.
see,
said that, it comes to mind, you know, that famous Playboy pinup, Anne Nicole Smith, right? And I saw the document about this woman. And if you look at her childhood and everything, she was a beautiful soul. She just got lost, right? So one of the things that she will do is like with the bodyguard, she will go all looking sexy. And the bodyguard that stay with her for life is the one that show her that it didn't matter how she looked. She want to make sure, he want to make sure that she was okay psychologically, like a big brother. So understand that sometimes you've been put in the box, but you don't belong in the box. Sometimes we should stay away from judgment because we miss beautiful people. That's
That's
all.
called being naive. If you don't stay out of judgment, you just be a naive person. That's crazy. That means you're gonna
Okay.
believe anything that's said. Or that means you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
but this is what I was saying.
I
The
would probably
difference.
never agree to that one.
See, this was the difference that I was talking about. You see, I wouldn't judge them by how they look. You know what I'm saying? I would judge them by their morals and this, that, and
Of
the third.
course, but
So
that's when
I
you get to
wouldn't.
know them, right?
Right. So,
Yes,
so
right,
I wouldn't.
exactly. But
But
no
what I'm
matter how
saying
we
is, I
want,
wouldn't. I wouldn't have picked her because I judged. Oh, she might be marriage material. Yet I don't know that yet. So I
you
didn't
wouldn't
judge
know
her. I
that.
just picked
No,
her. Right. So I didn't. I didn't make a judgment call. I just picked one and hoped that that is the one. But I didn't make a judgment call.
so
I don't even know yet.
But if you don't
I
if
judge,
can't
if
judge.
you don't judge their appearance to some type of degree, like you're setting yourself up for real.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. So if you say that chaos, right? How about you have your son go in a strip club and start trying to pick out a wife from there? Then, since you don't make judgments,
Or have your daughter go to a gangbanger. Like,
No,
Kevin,
see, no,
I give you
wait.
better.
See, now, wait. Hold on. A gangbanger is something, but a person that looks like a gangbanger is two different things.
if they tatted up and they carrying guns and all of this, what, like, you want your daughter with that? Or like he said, you want your son with a stripper? Or somebody that looks like one? It doesn't matter if that's what they actually do. When you first see somebody, you're going to judge them. That's what humans do. It's
that's
called
what humans
discernment.
do.
It's called discernment. You haven't, I don't know a specific animal, but a lot of animals don't have discernment. That's why they be dying because they get themselves put in danger because they can't discern from good or bad. But we can. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't judge until you open your mouth.
Huh?
By the way, Kevin, my son is here
Don't judge
today. We
people
can ask
until they
him
open their
which
mouth.
he will go for. Do you want to
Oh,
ask
okay.
him?
Oh yeah, for sure.
DJ, say hi.
I got another chaos about what's the deal? Tiz son, what's the deal, man?
This is not much. What's
What's
the
the
deal?
question?
Yeah, what is the question that
I think it's the same. Okay, I'm gonna ask this one. I wanted to ask Chaos this too. Y'all both at the same time. Then, so say if you have a son, right, or it could be a daughter, whatever. You have a son that's a virgin. Um, would you have? I mean, would you? Which one would be your better pick? You would pick the girl that got 20 bodies, or the virgin, or the girl that's a virgin.
hmm,
See, now that's that
none,
character. See,
none at
that's
the
a
moment
character. Oh,
is a
you asking
real
him? My
honest
fault, my fault.
question because because
Don't.
if I was to go for one, I'd be the same type of guy that the woman I'd be trying to find, and I don't have anybody in mind at the moment, so I'm single and ready to mingle. But you hear me? But yeah, that's about it. None
Wait, so
is
which
my.
one you said you would
So
pick? Because I was talking at the same time.
Uh, hmm.
Which
That's
one you said you would pick?
I'd say the one that has been faithful to her vessel and
No, that's
came
what I
from a
thought.
good
So
family. Like doesn't isn't involved in certain things that I disagree with. But
that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. If you
So I
want
guess
what's
that I
best for your child, we not about to play. We not about to play like we don't want
no
what's
no
best for
no.
our child.
So what I just show you, Kevin, that I taught them when they were little, right? So what he decide or what he said have to come from him, you know. It's like I think that I'm cutting the umbilical cord on that because I trust he's smart enough that he will do the best decision for himself.
Right. Exactly. But you said you never talked to him about that for him to make that decision.
Oh yeah, I
Right.
did
Exactly.
when they were
That's what I'm
young, when
saying.
they
Right. You
were
talked
like
to him about it,
12,
so that's what I'm
13.
saying. You just proved my point right there. Exactly. Now you not talking to him about it. You know what I'm saying? That means like, hey,
Yeah,
just do
no.
your thing. You know what I'm saying?
You know, he's right here, so I can tell this story. So when he was about 12 years old, right? And I was having the open communication with my kids, especially like from where I came from, terror of taboo from my mother. And so it says like, if you ever have the, you know, like some feeling for somebody, just, you know, be honest, you know, we'll talk about it. So at age 12, he wanna start dating this girl, right? So I tell him, okay. So you know that a girl is not like PS4, right? It's a human. So you're gonna have to dose your sports, your time with your friend, make sure you treat her right, get that extra job so you can take her to the movies. Maybe and then when you go to school, you just have to look at her. So after about half an hour that I was talking to him, he said, I don't think I'm ready to date. You know what I mean? I didn't say no, you're not doing it. I just give him a little bit of the perspective. Because sometimes young kids they don't think it all the way through. So that's where the parents came along, you know, to give them the bigger picture.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know how they say you should never judge a book by its cover? That's what I mean. But you should judge the book by its contents. So
Of course.
you understand? You're not judging the book by its cover, but you're judging the book by its content. So you are
Right.
judging. So that's what I mean by what do you mean by judge? You know what I'm saying? Like
But
how are you
this
looking at the
the
judgment?
the funniest part is that we can't control how our mind automatically judge, no matter how we want to look at it. That's so sad, ain't it?
It's a survival
Right?
mechanism.
It's a
It's not
sense of
even a bad
protection. So
thing.
right. Exactly.
Like it's really for survival. If we didn't have the gift to be able to have discernment, we would be dead. Like so we would just run into danger, not even knowing, just
Right.
oblivious.
Yeah. It's an automatic. No matter how we want to look at it. If we don't voice it, we still internalize it. You know what I'm saying? It's still in our mind. We can lie to ourselves that we say we don't judge, but it just automatically happens. You know what I'm saying? You judge some, like I said, you tell somebody that they cute, you already made that judgment in your mind already. But, oh, guess what? That's not judgment. It's only a bad thing. No, judgment work both ways. You know what I'm saying? That's you giving your opinion on how you feel like about a certain situation. So you,
So
no matter how you
question
want
for
to
you.
say it, that's what it is.
Don't Yes, but don't you? It's like it's never the message, right? Because I think that we all have, at least in this conversation, we have boundary. You know, we know our limit. We know what we're gonna do, what we're not gonna do. At least I do, right? The point is this: at what point is like, I know that I don't like to drink alcohol. So if my friend's gonna knock at the door and say, "Let's go eat, drink at the bar. Let's go eat, drink at the bar," I say, "No, I'll pass on that, right? Because it's not good for me. I don't, you know." But I'm not saying you don't go it. You know, I don't like to go to the bar, so you don't go it. You know, I don't want to make them feel bad, but to say is like, "Hey, I don't do that because it's not fun for me, but go ahead and do it." I think because
Um, no.
does that make sense what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it makes sense, but that's just a slippery slope. Like you can say, like
Oh,
basically, you're saying, "Oh, I wouldn't do it, but if you do it, I don't care." And that's just like I feel like not a good mindset. Either something is good or it's bad. Drinking is bad. So just
Right.
because you don't want to hurt their feelings, that's really on them if they get offended by
Right.
facts.
And that's
So
and that's the difference. It showed the difference, and I'm not even trying to put it like that, but it is a difference between a father and a mother, man. Because a mother be caring about your feelings so much that you need the father for that authority, that raw type, telling them what
yeah,
to do
tough
type
love.
situation. Because that soft stuff is just not gonna always work all the time. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying, it helps out sometimes, but sometimes they gotta get straight told, feelings hurt, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not about saving people's feelings, it's about saving their life. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna realize that.
I know. But there are people like myself that I really, every time that I've been come out like rudely truthful, for some reason, I always end up being the villain. So that never work well with me, you know?
I mean, you just have to
So,
ignore them. I mean, if you're saying facts, then why even care if they feel some type of way? That's just me personally.
Kevin, I did it again. Why do you even care? I don't know. Still wonder. We had a conversation about this. Yeah, you're right. It's all
That,
about
that
the
this
fact.
is that,
Touche.
I'm gonna try
You're
to
right.
kill. I'm gonna try to kill two birds with one stone with the judgment thing, because I was in a conversation with someone about addiction, right? And that person tried to paint addiction like it's a bad thing. They try to make it, you're weak because you're taking substances to get by, and those substances become addiction. She just made painting the whole thing negative. And I told us there's some people that need those things to get by. So they automatically become addicted to it because they need that prescription drug to get
Wait.
by.
You
Or
saying people need addictions?
What? What?
No,
I'm not saying
no.
people need addictions. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. It's like people that are on medication, right?
That's not an addiction. That's
They
something
need
they
that
gotta
to
do.
get by.
The freak.
That's an Oh my
What?
gosh.
How's that an addiction when they gotta save their own life?
I'm about to say if it's something they
It,
have to
it, it
actually
becomes,
take, that's
it becomes,
different.
this is what I'm saying. See, people are painting addiction like it's a bad
That's
thing.
not an addiction. You mixing
That's
that up. That's just a procedure. It's a treatment. It's not an addiction. An addiction is something that
What's the
you willingly
definition? What's
No,
the
choosing.
definition of addiction? What's the definition of addiction?
you're dependent on a substance because
dependent, yeah.
you choose to
Thank
take
you.
it.
Thank
Because
you.
you choose to take it, not because you have to. Obviously,
You're
if you have to
dependent
take,
on you're dependent. This is why I said it helps you cope. Some things are prescribed to you, and some things you don't need to prescribe to you for you to cope. Like coffee, you don't need
Cold
that
is not a
prescribed
good
to you, but you
thing. I
need.
tell people about that. If you
obviously,
I know that. I know. Thank you,
That
Kevin.
mean you don't
Coffee.
need
Kevin,
it.
I was
That mean
telling.
you don't need it. That
Thank
mean you
you.
need to find something
Thank you.
else to get
right?
you out of
That
this.
that would
Whatever.
be an addiction. That would be an
And
addiction.
Somebody,
some people would disagree with you. A lot of
I,
people
I,
would disagree with you.
I realize,
They
I
would
No,
say
they
realize
coffee is
don't.
not
this.
an addiction.
Yeah, but can I
They
say
don't.
something from a person that overcome my own addiction
Mm-hmm.
every day?
Here
I'm
we go with
gonna
the
say
overcoming addiction.
something.
Oh my
What I
god.
believe is like in this society that I was living, it was either hypocrisy or numbness, right? So do I like to have lost financially or like mentally or health wise? Absolutely not. That. But if I had to choose between become a narcissist, an hypocrite, and addiction, I will still choose addiction if there was just two choice. Now I choose difference. I choose myself and self-love. But yet we should never put down people that are in addiction. And if you cannot give them a word of hope, you should just let them do their process and hit their rock bottom and let them come out. But no judgment to those
Where
people.
that come from? Who said who put who down on what
No,
addiction?
Thank you.
no,
We
for
just
real.
saying that we just saying the term itself is nothing good about an addiction. So I would, like I said, why
No.
would the fact that
It's
you have
that
to that people have to overcome it, we already know is not a good thing anyway. So I'm not going to,
it's
it's
forced.
another thing I want not to teach my child about, oh, it's okay, just deal with, no, I don't want you in
No,
it anyways. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
ain't nothing down in it. It's just, that's what it is. It's not a good thing, no matter how we
But
want to look at it.
Kevin,
It's false.
but
It's
if you
false.
raise him right, when he go out in society, he will not. It's like, addiction come with insecurities, right? So if you standing out in society, a well young guy put together, hopefully he's gonna have enough self-love that you will not succumb to pressure like that. It's that simple.
So
Let me ask you
addiction
a
is
question.
bad.
Wait. Can you be addicted to TikTok?
Yes, you can be
Yes.
addicted to
Thank you.
anything.
Yes.
Thank you.
What that
I
mean?
don't.
It's a
I
bad
TikTok
don't.
is
thing
not
still. It
bad.
don't make it good. What the
Right, like any
Who
addiction
said
is
so?
bad.
You can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money off of it. So how is it a bad thing?
That's it don't matter. That's
Any
still not
addiction.
you. It's so much stuff you got to do in your life to be addicted to one thing. You got to live your life. You can't be stuck on one thing. I mean, you're dependent on it from to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? If you get addicted to
We're
anything, even
depending
your
on a
partner,
lot of things.
people like even with you not be addicted to your partner. Your partner should be
So
an
how's
addiction,
addiction bad?
huh?
So
Because you're
how's addiction
dependent.
bad?
You're dependent. If you have to
Right.
depend on
But we
something to
depend on
live, that's
almost
bad.
everything.
We no.
We
We're not
depend on
talking about
almost everything
food,
to
and
live.
we not talking about food and water. Even
Oh
that's
my
things that you could be
gosh.
addicted to. You could be addicted to
Okay,
food.
so let's
Hello,
prove
people that have
it.
eating disorders and the overeating,
I
that's an
know that.
addiction.
So
Right.
why is
That's an
it bad
addiction.
So
again?
you can be addicted to anything. Just because
Exactly.
something seems good for you doesn't mean you can't get addicted to it.
Right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're proving my
Thank
point.
you.
You're proving my point. So why is it a bad thing
What
if
Dog,
you
you
can get
like
talking
addicted
in
to
what?
circles,
anything?
bro. What the freak?
You're not making no sense. How are we proving your point and then you just go
If
against
you
your
can
point?
get addicted to almost everything, okay, so that means
That don't make it
we're bad.
right.
Like
So
I'm
so wait wait wait
The
confused.
so wait. So what you're saying is everything we do is bad because we can get
What?
addicted to anything. So, oh my
Nobody
anything
are
that
gosh.
you
you
addicted
Never
to is
mind. Never
bad.
mind.
Yes, that's what we're
yeah,
saying.
right. Where is the confusion? I'm confused.
You're confused because I don't like to look at everything as being bad. That's why you're confused.
Nobody said anything about everything being bad. We said what you're addicted to is bad because addiction is bad.
And you
What is
can get
why are we
addicted
confused?
to everything. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's a matter of perspective. I hear what you're saying, but you see, I went through therapy, and at one time, like I was so ashamed of my addiction, and my therapist made me read some material where he was saying that sometimes people that are in addiction they succumb, but it's still when they are in addiction you can still save them because the alternative is the worst. So yes, I hear you what you're saying, Chaos. Is the perspective that you look at the situation, but most people they don't go that deep, probably because they see it as black or white, how is addiction. Until you don't experience, you cannot really go that deep in the
So if it was right, then
understanding. You
why
know
did
what I
you have
mean?
to? Okay, since you saying it can be right, why are you taking classes to get out of it since it was right?
Because I'm
Because
saying,
that's the
talking
picture they
about
paint.
mind.
Because that's the picture people are painting. Because
No,
that's
no.
the
If you do,
picture
if it's
people
so right,
projecting.
then you doing this for yourself. Then you should stay in your addiction, right?
We do stay in our
So it was
addictions.
obviously wrong, right?
How
It
can
is
it be
wrong.
wrong if we stay in
Okay,
it?
It
Are you
is wrong,
promoting
though.
people to be
that's what I'm
druggies or
saying.
something? Like what are you promoting? I'm confused.
That's what I'm trying to get right. I don't know what's going
Like are
on.
you gonna tell your kids to do drugs? I'm confused.
Right.
Oh, wait. Let me let that process real quick. Because
Okay.
am I going to tell my kids to do drugs in a drug full world? Like, how can they not do drugs?
What the
Tell them the
What?
consequences of
Do,
doing
do, do,
drugs
do,
so
bro?
they
do, you,
won't do
do you
drugs?
understand that? Do you understand that sugar is a drug? Do you
What
understand
are
that?
we talking about?
Oh my gosh, never mind.
Obviously, if something is harmful, you
Never
should tell them
mind.
about it regardless if it's
Time,
sugar. I don't care. If
Tylenol
something
is a
is
drug.
harmful, if
Did you know
something
that
is
Tylenol is
harmful,
a drug?
if something is harmful to their body, and we know what drugs we talk about, we're not talking about Tylenol. We talk about weed, crack, heroin. We talk
And
about them. So why are
and
you
people
bringing up
don't take
OMG,
Tylenol
Tylenol?
like that either. What the heck?
OMG,
Just
Like,
a,
why
OMG.
are you talking about
Every,
Tylenol? You
every,
deflecting.
every, every drug does damage. What are you talking about?
Oh my
I don't get
goodness.
this. You trying to do this to prove a point that's not even getting proven. This is weird. It's like,
Like,
dog,
What
just
part am
because
I
you take it,
proving?
that don't mean you're addicted to it either.
What am I proving?
Because you keep
you're
trying to
not
make it
proving
seem like
nothing.
the addiction is a good thing. You
All right,
saying
let's
because
go.
we take drugs that you
Okay,
and then you
let's
compare
not
it to
say
a
let's not
Tylenol. People don't
let
just take
okay.
Tylenol like that.
Let's
Like,
let's not say it's a
Okay,
good thing.
Kevin.
Addiction is a natural thing. It's a natural thing.
so people just naturally have addictions? I don't have no addiction. I don't know
House,
nobody with addiction. So what are you talking
house.
about?
Lies.
Can I help you? It's like, okay, Kevin,
Right.
how about this? If my friends they knock and they say, let's go to the bars, right?
Yep.
We can go and I'm gonna tell to my neighbors like, oh, have fun, right? But to me, it's like my neighbor then is not good because that's poison to me. Like if I don't smoke the cigarette, I'm not even drink the alcohol. Do you
Mhm.
understand? There are addictions that are accepted by society and there are addictions that are ostracized.
It's
To
still
me,
bad.
huh?
It's still bad.
To you.
If you're an alcoholic, that's still bad. So what are you talking
No,
about?
I know about what I'm saying. No.
You
You
said
understand what I'm saying,
wait. You
Kevin?
said
Because
it's
English you don't
accepted. I
understand.
was wondering when you said it's accepted by society. You think because it's accepted it make it right?
No,
Oh,
no.
you scared me for a minute. I was
I
wondering
think
where you was
wrong
getting to.
is
I'm like,
wrong.
please,
No,
please.
no. I said, do we agree? Do we agree? It's a fact. The some addiction they're more tolerated or help or accepted in society than other addiction. Because my friend that is in AA, she thinks that she's better than the one that is in meth because
I
she's
get
scared that
you.
she's gonna get
It's
robbed.
both, and it both ain't.
So
I get what you meaning by that, but then again, it's still
exactly.
wrong no matter how we want to look at it. Even if it's
That's
a light
right.
addiction or something, anything with addiction is not it. It's nothing that usually end
And
right
you're
with it
right.
because you threw off course whatever the addiction is, or it's something that you just got to. You know what I'm saying? That's most of the time it's affecting you some type of or physically to the time. Even if I'm addicted to playing
But
video
that's
games,
of
right? It
course.
can be as simple as that. I could be going out doing some work, making some money. I'm so addicted to playing video games, I forgot I gotta work. You see what I'm saying? Like any addiction is wrong. When you addicted to your partner, you know what I'm saying? You can't deal without them because you ain't gonna never take the time to even work on your own life because all you know is your partner. You see what I'm saying? Anything addiction is not right.
Yes. Really, I don't want to be argumentative. I was just trying to say that I see when Chaos was saying anything
So
is
I just
addiction.
want to jump in there as your friendly uh, laugh or learn moderator.
Hmm.
Addiction is something that you need. It's a substance or thing that mentally or physically enslaves you.
Right.
So if you look at it that way, there isn't a good addiction chaos.
Right.
If you look at it that
And
way.
that's look it up in the dictionary for the
That's the
definition.
only way. That's the only way to look at it, though. So it's not that way. That's the way.
Okay. Okay.
And you can
I
make
knew
money
Gigi. She
doing a
look up
lot of
stuff before
things.
she come up in. She be ready.
You could make money doing a lot of things and you could be addicted to it. I like basketball. You can gamble and be addicted to gambling
Exactly.
on basketball games
Right. And that gets serious too.
and be broke as a mother.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Addictions usually take a right. Exactly what Tara Hook. Right. It usually do, and it be sometimes
Oh yeah.
unintentionally. You just don't notice. You know what I'm saying? Next minute you going back to it, or you got to go right back to it. That's just addiction. It ain't,
Like
it
she
ain't no
said,
Every now and then.
everybody.
enslavement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you can't do without it. You have to go usually through some kind of program or rehabilitation to become unaddicted. Sometimes people do it cold turkey, but their body still goes through changes, their mental go through changes. If you're addicted to alcohol, most of the time you can't sleep when you just stop it because it affects your central nervous system.
Yep.
Yes. And
Yep.
then there is another thing like cigarettes, right? The physical thing is just for 3 days, right?
Hmm.
Now, when the physical is gone, is the mental, so it's very important. In my humble opinion, the time that I've been successful, I had to go down to the roots of why I was doing, because as I said, when the physical part is gone, you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. That's simple.
Yeah, as you
Truly,
know,
don't tell me,
sometimes
don't tell me you trying to come on, Truly, man. I know you ain't trying to. Okay, you better say that then. I was about to get. I'm like, no, you're not about to try to take her for this
oh my
again and
goodness.
and get chaos back, riled
And,
back up again.
and look, that's my daughter. I really don't want her to say addiction is good. But
Like I taught you better.
okay. But Kev, now I see in red body count. Does that have to do with addiction? Is that how the segue, or is it two different subjects?
It was a different subject. Nah,
Okay,
I would
okay,
just it was a general thing. Yeah, I was just
okay.
saying. Uh,
We went
basically,
from body count to addiction.
dog, all type of stuff and right and wrong and judgment. Into everything.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, but
yeah,
I
I was
know
just
chaos try
go
to,
ahead.
the different way. But sometimes just because that's the route you take don't mean it's right.
Hmm.
There's good and bad. Simple.
Hmm. But yeah, I was just saying this narrative how I just well with dealing with the topic just saying I'm trying not to push this because I'm pretty sure I mean as an adult everybody of course we saying it might not matter because if we get with each other it is what it is love and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, let's not push this to the kids behind us because at the end of the day, they really don't even know what they doing for real. And if we telling them it
Hmm.
don't matter, you know what I'm saying, and just tell them casual sex is good and all this stuff, that's what's gonna get they mental. Them traumas gonna come. These,
Hmm.
all this trust issues, all that stuff. Like people don't realize how powerful sex is. It's a powerful thing. The first thing is money, and then it's sex. Number two is sex in the world. Them two most things that's kind of corrupting the world. why everybody's going so
Yeah,
crazy nowadays.
and not to mention diseases as
Oh
well
yeah,
as
I
mental.
try to be light with that. I try to be light. You know what
And also, if we looking at it from like a man's perspective, he is not going to want to be with a woman who has a high body count. Not saying that the man's body count doesn't matter, but we just know the repercussions for
I'm
women who are highly promiscuous are way more than a man.
saying?
Because just due to a man's nature versus a woman's nature, a woman will see a man with a high body count and be like, oh yeah, I want to be with him. Not all, of course, but we see it happen. More so a man, and he's not going for that. And if it is, it's just recreational. He's not trying to wife you up and take you seriously. So no, we shouldn't be pushing this message that body count don't matter because then we have situations like that.
Well, how will a man know if a woman has a high body count?
Well,
He tells him. Or,
Yeah,
word around
but she
town.
would be not
So
smart to do that.
yeah, I don't think a guy should ask that. That'd be the worst thing you could do. You got to just judge off the actions from that point.
I think one of the main reasons why women shouldn't strive for it is just because of their own self-esteem and standards and value. It's like you don't want to give yourself to everyone who walks through your door because surely everyone is not worthy. Go to meet some
no.
bums.
Right, right.
Our bodies are temple, and it definitely matters for men and women because we rent in our bodies, and when you rent something, the person you renting it from expects to get it in the same condition you bought it. So when we go back to our Creator, I don't know if y'all religious or not, but when we go back to that place, we not like we didn't come here with high body counts. Why are we just having sex with everybody? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's
Well,
kind of
additionally,
disrespectful. It's kind of disrespectful to yourself.
Yeah.
and when you rent something out, like I was a property owner, you want it back in the prime condition that you gave it. So when you
Exactly.
rent something, you want people to take care of it. And if you're running through everybody or letting everyone run through you in this case, you can't be fully taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
You
It's a
might
lack of.
shower every day, but it's pretty much having a lot of sex without getting paid. And that's,
Yeah.
one step away from a pro. Well,
But
maybe a
like,
few steps if you ain't getting paid.
hmm
That was a joke.
I be forget she be slipping them boys.
Uh-huh.
I was in it's just really different situations. It's like people don't want. It's not going to own up to it, but it does do something to your mental. It does something to your mental. It does something to your choices in life. It does a lot. People not going to own up to it, but we be acting like. Not mentioned earlier, we be acting like, oh, ain't no emotions attached. I'm emotionalist, and I can just do. No, it still get to you in
It's
any type of
not.
way. Wow.
And especially for a woman, because women are just naturally more emotional, especially when they having sex. Typically there's that emotional connection compared to a man. They could just have sex and that be
Yes.
that. But it's still bad for both, but I'm just
It's
saying, like,
bad for both of
especially,
that. I get you though
yeah,
about women being more
especially
emotional.
for
Yeah.
women. Like, if you
Hmm.
have all these sexual partners and you're a woman, like, that's going to affect your future partners and the connection you could possibly have with them.
Yeah, because you still think about
Well,
Mr. Break That Back.
No, for real.
in the way you said it, Kev, that you said it affects your mental. And one of the ways, as a woman, this is not for every woman, this is for me as an older woman. Most of the time, women want men to want them when they go that route. And if you give yourself and the man don't want you, it's going to affect your mental.
Right.
Maybe you might decide now I'm just going to be a 304.
Mm.
Okay. And, or you're going to shut down completely and not trust anybody for so long. By the time you have a relationship, you don't know what to do. That's all affecting your mental.
It's still right.
And they're never satisfied, because I hear a lot of girls who are 304s. They like, oh yes, I love having sex all the time. Like, the pleasure is amazing. But then when they're in home at nighttime in their bed, they're lonely and they wish they had a man, because it's not bringing them any fulfillment. Just having random sex with random dudes.
And probably unfulfilled from the guys. As a woman, it takes trust, it takes someone with experience. Most of these boys running around with these high body counts going through these girls ain't trying to satisfy them in no kind of way. They're satisfying
No.
themselves and they move it
Yeah.
on.
Hmm. Uh-oh, watch out. 6'4" in the building. Time to shake the bit.
Oh, I
I
asked him,
know
was
he
he
love this topic
6'4"?
right here. And we ain't just doing the women. I know you like to go tear them up real quick. I'm just talking about all around. He like, dang, you done took away. Look, he close his eyes. You done took away my secret. Well, I'm just talking about this really going towards like pushing this out and getting this in the children hearing this stuff. I mean, I know it's getting to the children. They feel like it ain't nothing. I'm talking about children as in like 20 some years old, all that. Like, they still kind of kids to me. Yeah, I'm acting like I'm so old too though. But I'm just saying, like, just the young, the youth and all that stuff. They need to know that it do matter. No matter how we want to look at it. What you got, six for?
Agreed.
Well, it do matter.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, like I told my son, if I can go back and do it all over again, I would have not been with all the women I was with. Because though I was able to stampede, having a hit record, being local, I had my share of the affair. But I told him, I said, if I could go back, I would redo it all because even though I was not emotionally attached to them women, it was quite confusing when it was time to settle down. It
That's
was
what I'm saying
confusing.
about the mental. It's that
Yeah,
mental I'm
it
trying to tell
was.
you.
It was confusing because I had too many to compare, and then if I would have just kept it now, I really start to start relationship
Mm.
because that couple never got a chance to, feel the hurt that I felt. They never got a chance to feel some of the things that I felt. Whereas, they've been together since high school. All they know is each other.
Is each other
So
right?
yeah, so and I told my son, I said, if you find a girl and you can rock out with her from day one, I'm like, Dad, I know Daddy don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but Daddy gonna sound like a hypocrite. Stick with her. Because that's the key to your peace. That's the key
Yep.
to your peace of mind.
Exactly. Fact.
From a man's standpoint, from my anyway, all men are not the same, but
Right.
I don't know if other men, when they decided to settle down, did they go through the same confusion I went through?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know I did. I was confused in the motherfucker because I didn't know that it would affect me like that. I thought I would be able to just, yep, oh, I know it, and this is what we're going to do. But shit, man, let me see. I got an old girl in Texas. I got an old girl in Arkansas. Then when we was on the West Coast, I got an old girl in Sacramento. Then old girl in Seattle. Then we got
Six four.
the twins over there in
While you
Iowa.
reminiscing on your stampede, may I interject something?
I'm sorry.
First
I'm
of
sorry. I'm
all,
sorry.
thank you for your perspective as a male. But what struck me is when you told your son you did the stampede, and even though you weren't emotionally tied to those women, that just seems like such a sad thing for our kids to hear, our boys or our
Mm.
girls, that we did
Mm.
all this, but we weren't emotionally attached to any of them. So I'm glad that you changed up on that.
Oh yeah, well, I tell people, and I tell men, never offer an apology for your player years. Okay, that's like, and I tell women to do the same thing. Don't offer no apologies for your player years. Well, we didn't own nobody. We wasn't married to nobody. Nobody owed us nothing. I taught my son in a relationship, a woman don't owe you shit. That's not your wife. You don't own her, and that's just the bottom damn line. And the moment you overstep them boundaries, you put yourself in a dangerous mental space. These Until you get married, I taught him you are single. Bottom line. Don't try it. Don't do that BS in y'all. And I go with her. This is my girl. No, 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 no. No, we're not about to do that. Your old man know all too well what that produces. So what happens is, what I would like to see, and people always say, well, what's the solution? And I tell younger parents, what I would like to see is
Oh
these
my.
people, the parents, get the kids busy. Get them productive so when they in their teenage years, they ain't thinking about that silly shit.
Right.
Put them in the urban league. Put them in the boys and girls club. Put them in organizations. Because what happens is they got too much idle time on their hands.
So are you saying sex is silly and the YMCA or whatever is going to deter nature?
Thank you. Well, here's what happens when you put kids in constructive, what we call constructive and productive things. If they begin to get their heads filled with different ideas, other than that same mundane chore that I'm just gonna get on the phone at the park or in a block. You go there. It is to inspire you it challenges you to open your mind to other possibilities of what you can do as a teenager. Like when I was coming up, my mother had us in the Boys and Girls Club. Because as we grew in there, that's where we learned shit like wood shop. We learned organizational skills. We learned a new way of thinking outside of what was in our homes and in our neighborhood.
Okay,
When you
I'm
got
not
children
going
who
to.
grow up,
I'm not
hmm
going to take over, but I have one more question for you. Did that occupation help you curb your stampede?
Obviously not.
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
there we go.
yeah, yeah. To a certain degree, to a certain degree, to a certain degree. Because, like I said, when I was in high school, I had a hit record. So by the time I was almost up out of there, I was already feeling myself. So I was already feeling myself coming out of high school with a banger. I was kind of feeling myself, but I also was able to realize that, wait a minute, something ain't right with this. Even though this is what I'm doing, I'm a single man. I don't have no children. We were grown ups. We don't owe nobody no explanation for what we were doing. But I do see in the long run, it did set up some confusion in my mind. And I just told my son, get busy building you, and have more bank accounts than body count. Now we doing something. Because you can't tell people how to live their life. Once people get out there and start living their life, they're gonna live, and they got to go through their own shit to figure out why they don't need to be doing what they was doing no more. I only can coach, guide, teach, and preach. When it's all said and done, it's up and make it applicable where it is in their lives. Because they could take everything I said and throw it out the window, meeting a cool ass homeboy.
Right.
She meet a cool ass homegirl. Mama ain't shit no more. What mama said don't mean shit. Keisha, and I know a lot of women who told me how their daughters throw up what another girl said. Keisha and mama or kid like, B, what the hell? Don't you be throwing up no other bitch in my house? Or you gonna live with Keisha bald head ass then? Her crackhead food stamp getting mama. You wanna go over there and live with the roaches then? Well, go ahead. I done seen some sisters get down there.
Was that one of the
Hey,
Stampede girls you just described?
One who?
Stampede girls.
No, that could be shit. I don't know shit.
Oh, okay.
That
he said
stampede
they
girl.
could be.
I just call it that.
I'm,
I just call it that. I don't know. Shit, this girl,
hey,
I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and let Mr. P go now.
Hey,
What's
what's
the
up,
deal,
man?
my brother?
So, I'm gonna start off with a little bit of context for anyone that don't know me. I've been married for 14 years with my lady. So my take on the body count situation and things like that's more of a modern dating type of situation, I think, than it was an issue. I mean, there was still high body counts when I was younger. It just wasn't being talked about.
Right.
I mean, half the time you weren't being told the truth anyways about numbers as it was, so it didn't matter. But if we're going to ask the question, does body count matter? I would say, yeah, it does. And from a male perspective, I think that generally speaking, the reason it matters is because of what men are interested in when it comes to women. If you're going to marry a woman, you're interested in her loyalty, her ability to stick it through. And if you're looking at a girl and she's got 150 bodies under her belt, a young man may not care. A young 18, 20-year-old man may not care.
Exactly.
But a 25, 27, 30-year-old man is thinking, why you got that many numbers? What's going on with her? Why can't she maintain a relationship? She's beautiful, she's hot, she's attractive, blah, blah, blah. But nothing is developed past that point. There's obviously a reason. And so it matters in the sense that men are concerned about a woman's past, because that is how we're going to map what kind of woman she'll be in our future. And I think that with women, and this is just a general statement, I'm willing to be wrong to the women on the panel, you all can correct me, but generally speaking, women are not interested in a man's past. They're more concerned with what he's going to accomplish in his future.
Right.
Yeah.
We make that judgment based off of what they can see in the here and the now. So men are looking for loyalty. So highly successful men who are highly sought after are going to be hooking up with these 304s, and they're not going to ever, make it to wife material because they've got this body count and they've got this history that tells this man, I don't have the tools that you want to build this union going forward. So I think it matters to men, whereas I think women, it doesn't so much matter because they're more concerned with the man's future. And my reasoning for this is I think it's more of a genetic thing that's been passed down than it is a conscious thing. Think about it. Back in the day, if two neighboring countries or tribes or whatever went to war with each other, and the winning tribe goes to the losing tribe, the women that survive have one of two options. They can be sacrificed, or they can make a play at the future and abandon what they've built with the previous husband that just perished and get a new husband and start a new family and pick up and move. So the women that have survived over the course of time have developed this trait to pick up and move to the better situation instead of staying where it's
Mr.
bad.
Prince, Hi, that's not a genetic trait. That is a behavioral habit. That's a choice people make or were forced, but that's not genetic.
Well, the reason I said genetic is because the women who didn't procreate and didn't find new husbands, their genetic lines stopped reproducing and stopped in time right there. Whereas the women who developed this trait, obviously their kin are here, we're alive. So there was, I agree that maybe my title for it was wrong, but the point is it was a behavior that was passed on. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been women to repopulate other civilizations that were conquered. They would have all perished. So I just think there's a lot of things at play here. I don't think there's any one issue. I just think that there's behavioral conditioning instead of genetic conditioning. We'll say behavioral conditioning that's happened throughout time. But then there's also the drive mechanisms, of what women are looking for versus what men are looking for can be totally different from each other. And yet we're asking one question to both groups and expecting the answer to be the same. I think it's just a funny point. That's all.
You, I'm gonna give a reason from my understanding and what I think it is. Anyways, the reason why they say it's like that, or I believe it's like that too, though. Why they say that why the man care and the woman usually don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's because just how we set up. Women to get it. You know what I'm saying? Men got to put in that work to get it. So they looked at that's why they say that the men usually get praised and the woman to get deemed or something like that, because like, well, how do you get praised for something, for something that's easy to come, and then, you know what I'm saying, usually get praised for something that you put in work with. But that's just in general why they like that, why usually women don't, well, majority of women don't care, you know what I'm saying, and then why majority of men do care, you know what I'm saying. That's just how it is.
I agree.
Because we already know it's easier for women. They can just go outside right now, like, hey.
I mean, nobody wants to respect me if I say I'm a high school dropout, because it's easy to be a high school dropout. But plenty of people will give me respect if I tell them I have a doctorate. They'll call me doctor. Good job on the accomplishment. And the reason is because one took direct effort and concentration and commitment and discipline, and the other was a lack of all of those things. Now, in my opinion, and I'm willing to be wrong, a woman is born with her value in this world. They're born at
I
peak
agree.
value, whereas men aren't. We have to
Earn
go
it.
into the
Build her.
create
We got
it.
to make it.
And so when women hand out some of their most cherishable things, some of their most valuable things, if something becomes valuable because it's scarce, is the point I'm trying to make. And if something isn't scarce, then it loses its value. So ultimately, if women want to be treated like they are rare and they are more scarce, then they need to act like what they're giving out is harder to get, because men will take the easy route. We'll have fun. We'll jump on all of the little bunnies hopping around, and we'll have a great time, and we'll go into the sunset in our old age a happy man.
I agree.
That was good stuff up until the last part. Men end up, echo.
Sorry.
You
I'm
probably had
echoing. I'm
you got to
sorry.
just drop and come back up. That's it. You probably answered a phone call or something. Yo, who the heck? Somebody else just left.
Yeah. Okay.
The only problem that I had with what he said is this. You can't say that a woman can't be loyal because she had a high body count in her past.
Hello.
I think some of this is rooted in if he can't satisfy her sexually, then she got a hell of a past to compare you to. So you might be scared that she might sneak out
Boy.
because you couldn't really blow that back out when it see me. Because I told some brothers one time on my panel, I said, listen, man,
That's still bad.
what if your woman told you, I'm not done? What would you do? What if she said to you, I didn't come. And you can't leave until I do. I said, man, do you know how long you're going to be in that damn room? Do you know how long your woman say to you, I didn't come? And until
I,
I
I
do,
think that's a topic for another subject. We get way off course with that.
hold on,
I mean,
wait.
unless
Let me
Kev
hold on.
wants to talk
Hold on.
about it.
Let me land my plane. Let me go where I'm going with it. So I said,
Okay.
so the reason why I say that is this: us that particular requirement, I think, in some men, is rooted in the fear of not being able to keep up. And because she has such a high body count, there's too many to compare when she didn't have to be kept up. It was already done. Like, well, shit, Ray ain't never make me wait this damn long. Shit. Kareem used to just
So,
come through like this when I needed something.
so you
So,
don't think
thing, like I tell people, we all have a past.
everybody not
And
a hoe though? So,
no, I mean, see, if that's what you classify that woman as, that everybody don't classify her as that. You know what I'm saying? But I
very
say
true.
this:
Experienced woman.
everybody is capable of redemption. Okay, everybody is
Yeah.
capable of redemption, and I'm also of the mindset people tell you what they want you to know. If a woman is going to be honest about that, then that's something. Hey, praises to her for being honest, but at base, she never have to be honest,
And if she's not honest,
ever.
it's probably because she a hoe. So,
Well, we would never know because
I'm,
we
because
never
if
caught
her
her in the
body if
lie.
her body
We would have
count
to
was
catch her in the
low,
lie.
if her body count was low, she would have just said it because it's low. Like nobody care about a low
Well,
body
here's the
count.
thing: we
But
won't.
if it's 100, she ain't gonna
If she
say it's a
says
100.
one. Well, if it is 100 and she said it's two, how am I going to really know?
Obviously, you're not going to really know. Nobody said nothing about that. I'm confused what your point
There
is.
it is. So since we can never really know, why are we bitching about something that
Because we
we'll
are
never
you
really know?
you just even said your own example of how it affected you. So what are you talking about?
No, I said that it confused me. But I'm saying in general, it is a question that I believe that women don't have to answer, and I always say this honestly. Because you don't have a meter on your dick when you stick it in, and it's going to give you a tally of everybody she fucked. For granted,
Yeah. Kev, is this what you want the live discussion to be? Because he ain't making no sense to me.
No,
I'm trying to
I
be
exactly.
just got
funny.
back. I just got back. My stuff just shut off. I don't know what happened with my TikTok.
Like, what
It's
is
a
he
freak.
even talking
What
about?
just happened? What just happened? Yeah,
I don't.
Kevin.
we about to go to Touche anyway. But I don't even know what happened.
on opinion on body. I feel like deep down inside, I am not in control of what happened to you in the
So
past
before we get to this, I'm
because
gonna show you the topic, what it is, before everybody start
I know
saying their
I've
piece and
kind of
stuff.
seen it.
Hold up, let me get it back up for y'all real quick. This thing tripping. I'm shopping like a millionaire. Why that T-Mo stuck in my head?
Yeah,
Oh,
why did you go to that emoji? Why did you go to that filter, Kev? Kev,
what?
I can't see that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't
Hold up.
even read that.
I'm
That's
about to
corny.
I gotta expand this. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Can I jump in really quick? I want to
Go ahead.
offer pushback on what we just listened to for a minute or so.
What I missed? I wish I would have heard what I missed. It sounded like a lot of people done got mad when I came back.
It's
I
just people
missed.
opinion. You know, everybody got one.
And my pushback isn't coming from an argumentative perspective. I just want to put the other point out there because he did use the word generally when he said, "God, what was he?" Never mind. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It'll come back. I'll get back to it.
Say for what you do to people, man. I done came back. You know, see the
Hey, you
they
know
said the
me,
story.
I'm 6'4",
Okay,
you know me, I'm gonna put it out there.
okay.
I'm gonna
He
put it
done
out
did
there.
his job. That got people riled. I don't even know what happened. I wish I did.
So
But what you
he
say?
was he was talking about how generally, from his understanding, that when men talk about problems with higher body counts, that it basically boils down to insecurity. And I find that
I
to be
said it
really
could be. I said
untrue.
that some men it may be that.
Yeah, and like I said,
Not for some.
this is just another
No.
perspective. This isn't really an argument against what you're saying. It's just the other side of it. I don't think it's right, even for men to shame other men for having what they consider to be boundaries when they're looking at a partner. Women come at us men all day long with a laundry list of requirements that they want in their mate.
Exactly.
And it's perfectly okay for a guy to look at himself and say, maybe I'm not the most pleasurable man in the world. So I don't want a woman that's been ran through by 150 dudes, because I don't want that in the back of my head. That's not going to be conducive to me or my marriage. And if that's a boundary they have to set up, I don't think that we should shame them and say, oh, you're just insecure and blah, blah, blah. You can't hang with the big dogs. That's only going to make the problem worse for that guy. And that's only going to make
Exactly.
the divide even greater, because there's going to be other women that are going to hear what's being said, and they're going to be like, okay, that guy is talking about how he knows how to throw it down, and this other guy does. I'm not going to give this other guy a chance. And anybody who fits that demographic in any way, I'm going to deny them, and I'm going to give my attention to the person who can throw it down but doesn't really want it. So I wanted to throw out that I agree with what you're saying, but I also think there's a counterpoint that it's okay for men to have boundaries. And if a man doesn't want to try and turn a 304 into a wife, he shouldn't have to.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
Look,
okay.
all
I
I'm
Today,
saying is
agree.
okay,
this.
so
All I'm
And
saying is
more
this.
men
This is
should
all I'm
make a
saying that
point of
makes.
not
wait,
going
wait.
through. Wait a minute, you already said a lot. Slow down.
I
Yeah.
didn't, I didn't, I
Okay,
Let
didn't.
Gigi
I'm just
talk.
taking
respond
my
to him.
moderator
I'm gonna
duty.
respond to him.
Um,
I'm gonna
Let
respond to him.
Kev,
I
back
want to
me
hear
up as the
Gigi.
moderator.
I want to hear Gigi.
I was simply going to say I agree with Mr. Print that a man has a right to not to try and turn a 304 around, but let's have men be accountable and not going through so many women, a stampede of women through their teens. That would be
I
nice,
mean,
Exactly.
because
Learn.
I
women
mean,
You
I
have to
usually
mean,
teach them to fight.
sorry, my dog.
He said, "I want
You
to
have
get in
to
the."
teach. You have to be teaching young boys to fight the temptation, because I understand that men's temptation for that is higher than a woman. So it's going to be a lot more common for you, like you said, to have these stampedes when you're young. But that's why you have to teach, and like you said, put them in things, keeping them productive, and teaching them, okay, put all that sexual energy into something else, because it's going to be
Right.
there, especially if
Exactly.
you're a young boy. If you're a young boy, that sexual energy is going to be through the roof.
Exactly.
So you have to teach them how to direct their energy into something that'll actually benefit them and not destroy them in the long run.
Exactly. That's what I be saying. That's what I'm saying. I like this person, man.
I would like to
I don't
comment
know
on
who
that.
she is. I'm gonna add her though.
Is that
But
I agree about teaching boys, and I think that part
Right.
of what
somebody background loud. I can't hear nothing.
I agree that we need to teach boys, and I think an important lesson to teach boys specifically is that because we're very driven off of what we see and then what we can feel almost immediately physically, and this is how it broke down to me, is that sex feels good, so that we do it, and then we make more people. That's its function. That's why it feels good. If it felt horrid, there'd only be about 10 people left on the planet because nobody would be procreating. And so you have to combat your instinct to want to feel good with your knowledge of what's actually more beneficial for me. I waited until I was financially capable of supporting a child. I guess I'm an anomaly. I was 17 when I gave it up, but I was living on my own at that point. And I had a job, and I was able to say, if I get a girl pregnant, I'm going to financially be able to be there. And before I was able to do that, I denied myself. I held true to that. The point is, I was told that when you create a child with somebody, it's going to be because you had sex. And that the only way you're going to do that is if you decide to do it. And if you decide to do it without having a financial backing, you're still responsible for that child as a man. And whether the child is born or not, you have responsibilities up until the child's, born or not, whatever the woman decides at that point. And then what I teach my little girl is that she's valuable, and that she can't just give herself over to any boy that bats his eyes at her. She's got to understand that she has to hold restraint too, and she has to make whoever her mate is earn her time, earn her love, earn her respect. So while it's important to teach boys, I think that ultimately women control the way society shapes and forms. And that if we want men to stop being dogs, We need women to train the men to not be dogs by denying the treat when there's only bad behavior. So make the
I agree.
treat with eggs that you get when you've established a relationship, that you've developed a marriage, then you get the treat. If I get the treat when I'm a loser, scumbag, nobody who's a party boy,
It's not a
if you give
treat
me the
for real.
treat, then I can go get the treat from anybody, anywhere, anytime, and there's no value there. But if every girl I met said, no, you don't meet the standards of who I'm willing to give myself to, I would have been motivated to step my game up and better myself, which would have helped helped all of society. By her helping herself and denying and knowing her worth, she forced me to evaluate my worth and better myself, and she bettered herself. So I think
Mr. Prince, we spoke about that a little before you came on value. And I agree with most of what you said, but I'm going to disagree with the last part because there are many women we unalive sooner than y'all. There are more of us. So if you're a bum and you don't get the tree for the first 7 girls, there's 3 more out there you're probably going to get lucky with, and you don't have to change anything about yourself. And that's why I think some aren't growing. They're going to run into other women who will
yeah,
accept
and
them.
I understand that there are outliers, and I understand that my view isn't an answer to fix everything. I just think that we need to take both sides of the gender with children and teach them both that they are worth more than a 15-minute physical transaction that has no long-term benefits.
I
You know,
agree.
The
I,
unfortunate thing
I,
about that is this, like she just said, for every person that says no, a lot of people ain't gonna just take no and just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna change my ways. They gonna find somebody who take a yes.
Yep.
Like
But those are going to
we
be
live in a
those not going to
wait
be
wait
the
wait wait wait.
majority. If majority of people are telling them no, after a while they're just going to probably give up and be like, well, maybe I need to change. Of
Yeah, but
course,
that's only
maybe they won't. You talk about these exceptions, but we're talking about majority. If a majority
okay.
is on the same page, then who cares about the exceptions?
Okay, but what I'm saying is to just me speaking realistically, is that we have social media. These kids are on social media and they utilize the fact that everybody, you see it a million times. Oh, okay, well, if they not meant to be in your life, go find someone. That's what they pouring into the social media. So you can say like, yeah, if majority is saying that, but still, if majority is saying that, and then there's other people that's not saying that, then it doesn't really matter because they're gonna do what they want to do.
But if it's
That's what I'm
majority,
getting.
then nobody's going to be looking at the few who say different. If it's majority, is his
Oh,
point?
I think you're missing what I'm saying. But all right.
I
You
think there's
you
room at the table for both perspectives. I think that we can understand that we I'm only speaking from a parent. I'm not speaking from just a general perspective. I'm speaking from a parental perspective. If we take accountability and responsibility to teach our children these things instead of depending on society and school and government to step in and teach these things, then there will be a societal change. It's not going to
Right.
be a turn and
exactly.
switch.
Exactly.
It's going to be a very long process, just like the
To be
process
given up too early.
went, which, if you look back in the 50s and the 60s, across all demographics in this country, there was about a 75% rate of people who were married at home raising the kids. That means the kid had both parents about 70 to
Nuclear
75%
family.
of the time. And then in the last 60 plus years, that number has completely inversed. It's now about 25%. So that wasn't just a flip of the switch. It was a long process that took 50 years to get us here. And it's going to probably take double that to get away from it because we went from abstinence and self-sacrifice for the better good of yourself to instant pleasure, damn the future.
Right. Since it
So
Yep,
got
I think
easier, it's
part of
harder to
it,
find love.
exactly.
But I
and I don't
never
know how
got, my thing
I don't
is though.
have an answer.
Oh, you wasn't done. My bad.
I just know that with my kids, I'm going to try really hard to teach them that they're worth more than they first realize, especially as a young teenager. Their own worth is they're like looking through clogged lenses. You know what I mean? Their brain isn't fully developed, so they can't really see what they're worth yet fully. And I don't want to send my children into this world where they can be manipulated by either gender to feel that they have they have to fall into someone else's life and live a way they don't want to. And Mr. Terrahawk, where did I get those numbers? I don't have the source off my hand, but if you and I will look up the data and I will DM it to you because it's verifiable. It's very easy to find. You can look at marriage rates. You can look at divorce rates, single parenthood. You can look at that across all demographics. And there was a huge change that happened 60 years ago where in the black community, the white community, the Asian community, the Latin community, we were all 75% pretty much married at home, both parents raising the kids. And not every demographic is completely inversed, but there's a lot of demographics that have suffered in the last 50 years where now 75% of the kids are being raised in a single mother environment where that's just not beneficial for anyone.
Yeah, people not gonna look that type of stuff up when they sexually driven. They want stuff to fit their narrative so they can continue doing what they desire and all that stuff. So of course they're not gonna look that up. But
hey, I gotta run. I appreciate your patience with me, Kev. I appreciate
for
everybody
sure.
else in the room. And if I came across argumentative or condescending,
No,
in
you
any way,
good,
that was
bro.
never
You
my
is
intention.
good. That's the lightest argument I ever heard in my life.
Thank you, mister. You made some great points.
Yes, thank you.
I just like to give everybody grace, and I hope I get it back. So I
For
hope you
sure,
guys have a
brother.
great
You
night.
already know.
You definitely will.
Thank you.
My thing. So the thing I want to get back to is why I don't never got it. And I was talking about this earlier. Why do people gotta always go with they're gonna do what they want to do anyway? So that means not teach the kids what to do. You know what I'm saying? Not
They
try to put in, or we gotta give up early or something. I don't get why we keep doing it to use that as a deflector or a debunk or something. That is weird.
because they
Hey,
lazy.
can I
There's
say
some
something?
carelessness of parenting.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm a grandmother, a mother, a grandmother, and a great grandmother. So I think, well, from my experience, the way it goes, you give them as great of a foundation as you can, with value, etc. But then they get to a certain age with their own individuality and start making their own decisions. And just like we did, you make decisions different than your parents told you or taught you. It's just
Right.
inevitable.
Right.
So I that's what I experienced to happen. If my daughter's still here, she can tell you
Yeah.
how she went left.
I mean, parenting isn't something that stops once they can make their decisions. You still have to parent. So if you see that they're making
Right.
bad decisions, you obviously have to step in as the parent, tell
I'm
them right from wrong.
As long as I'm living, I'm not giving up. That's why I say I realize a lot of people do that too. Lord, they're grown. They do. No, I'm on their head until I'm an old man. I don't care because I'm not that
I
type of
mean,
person that
But
gives up.
that's not
I just don't
that
give up.
well, okay, as someone who has two grown kids and one small one, when your child gets grown, after a while you've given them all of this information, they may not want to hear it.
hmm
Okay? And so you can keep telling them it, you can keep telling me what you want, but you have to stop treating it like if they were a brick wall and your knowledge was an egg and you're throwing that egg against the wall and it just drips down. At some point you have to let them um, deal with the consequences of
I feel
their
you.
decisions.
Yeah.
you
I
I
you
feel
mean,
you.
can't, of
they're
course
not
you
a
continue to
robot.
parent, right? But what I mean by they're going to do what they want to do, if your mother or father came and told you to do something different right now than what you wanted to do, Kev, would you do it their way if you wanted to do something different?
No, I mean it depends on the situation. We can still hear it out, but that don't mean I'm not gonna just because I I don't. I think the
If you
point.
wanted to go to MIT and your parents wanted you to go to University of Pennsylvania, wouldn't you choose the one you want to go to, especially if you're paying for
hmm
it?
Of course, of course,
That's
of
not
course.
the
Okay.
same as like a
Yeah, that's what I
damaging
said. Well, that's
decision.
what I'm about to get to because I'm not trying to. The thing is, I'm not trying to use it as in. My thing is just in general. As a parent, and I'm not even though I'm not a parent, right? I would expect that we just want the best for our child. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, not had this give up mentality. Even though we know, like I said, it's obvious that your kid is going to do what they want to do anyways. But I'm just saying, people nowadays, especially today, they would say, "Well, I'm not going." Especially if they ain't even had the kids yet, or the people that got little kids and stuff. Well, they're going to do what they're going to do, so I'm not going to teach them this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they do. So I be like, what is the point of saying it? It's like you're not even trying to try. That's like a person
Like,
that's coming with a plan and come and think of the worst before the plan even gets started.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. It's
I
just
think
that junk is crazy to me.
Kev, what I've been telling you, like you said, I don't think it's like giving up, but I think like too, you have to use um you have to read the room. And if you consistently always drilling your kid to do something, that could form for a pushback. And some parents don't want that pushback. Some kids I've seen, get pressed. They whole like our whole childhood get pressed. And then when they got older, they never go around their parents. They like, no, they judgmental. They want to do it their way. And I don't want to, no, I'm my own individual
It,
person.
I mean,
So,
there's ways to go
it's
about
the I'm
it,
but
about to
and
say it's the
I'm,
way you do it,
but,
like
right?
but
nobody's saying
listen
be
what
a
I'm,
drill
can I
sergeant.
finish talking, please? Thank you. What I'm saying, Kev, is at the end of it, and you've seen it, and we've talked about this. This is not our first rodeo of talking about this. I mean, like 4 or 5 times. But that's the problem. That's why a lot of people are at that place now to where they're sitting back and they're saying, you know what, I'm gonna tell them something, but it's ultimately their choice because, like I said, it always forms a pushback. I had my family that was super, 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 super into Christianity, and because they tried to force it on me, it was like, bro, I'm not about to do that. Like that's not who I am. And it's just how it goes sometimes. Unfortunately, it's like that. Some kids listen, some kids don't. Some kids listen
Okay.
until they become adults, and then they make their own way. They find out on their own. You learn your best experience is going through life and understanding that, hey, this didn't work out. My mom told me a million times to not be in a game, and now that I'm older and I look at exactly what she told me, guess what? I said, you know what? I told her that today. I said, you was right. I said the hood is scandalous. You was right.
So,
But I would not have been able to tell her that if I just thought I stood away from it because guess what? I needed to go through it. I needed to see it for myself. I needed to learn from my own experience. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's what people getting at.
No,
Can I finish talking, please, sweetheart?
you are talking, so go
I
ahead.
know you, but you're making a comment and I let you talk.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, but can you not make a sound effect? I let you talk like respectfully.
So go ahead.
What I'm saying, Kev, is at the end of it all, we like I said, I get it. We want the best for kids. I was a father. I was in a kid life for 4 years, and all I did was play. We going to basketball practice. Did you do your homework? Did this? Like I did that, and yet I can only do so much. But if he grows up and he does certain things after I already tried, I could be like, man, I want to save him from this, but maybe he need to bump his head for him to get that type of like he need that. Sometimes we need to fall and bump our heads and learn that that's not it for us to get the message. And I mean, that's why I think people be saying when they say, I'm gonna let them do what they gonna do.
Something
so,
also I would like to ask, like
so
Kevin was saying before, did you grow up to Shay with the father in the picture?
Yeah, my dad was killed when I was 12. My dad was definitely
Right,
around. He was killed
right,
when I was 12.
right. Because Kevin said something that really sits with me still now, right? It's like as a mother and raising my kids, I am always the part I try to understand them, what's their logic, where they come from. But sometimes I wish that I would have been back up by their father to say, like, listen to your mother, she's right. So being a single mother, I had to take the decision with myself. I wish the situation was different because it's very important, the input of a father. I believe that more than ever now, right?
I think kids need both their parents, no matter how we want to look at it. And what I was mentioning earlier when I was saying that is because you was saying you was mentioning about how you was caring so much about your child's feelings and stuff. You said you ain't want to hurt their feelings and all stuff, but that's like I feel like that's the average mother that does that, and the father is the one that bring the authority because they, you know what I'm saying, they're going to try to their best to guide it the best way. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like both parents, that's where the yin yang come in at because it ain't just always worrying about their feelings all the time. Sometimes you got to be strict and straightforward with certain situations too. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody can take it certain different ways or whatever, but um, so I wanted to go back to it to so and me myself too, right? I mean, my parents were strict on me, all that too, but that don't mean that I'm just gonna not try the same thing with my kids because it didn't work with me. And that's the mentality I'm trying not to be just because it didn't work with me, that means just give up and just let my child or come with this mentality that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Use the same example on me, all that stuff, but it's just like it's the way we doing it, and I'm pretty sure I could teach different from how my father and my mother did me. I'm pretty sure I can. You know what I'm saying? It's all about just trying. Just it's, because like I said, we got this give up mentality so early just because stuff didn't work out. But it's like we still got to try no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter how we want to look at it, we should at least still try. But we be
But
getting
you know
so.
what? But you know what, Kev? I agree with you, man. Listen, no coach goes to practice, writes down the plays, run the team through the plays, only to them niggas gonna do what they gonna do anyway. No, what the fuck I sat up there and taught you all that shit for then if you gonna do what the fuck you wanna do any damn way. That's a losing ass parent who failing and who can't reach their children don't respect their words when they ain't around. That's like me telling my son, well man, I don't want you to be having sex out here with these women, I don't want you to get them pregnant, I want you to get a woman when you get married, I want you to get married. And then turn around and throw him a condom and say, well, you gonna do what you wanna do anyway. What the fuck I
Right.
say all that shit for then? What the
Like,
hell I say all that for? That's stupid. Hell no. To a certain degree, if I give them at least 100%, damn it, they got to be exercising at least 85 to 90% of it for me to feel secure enough to let them out of my sight. Ain't nowhere in hell I'm going to be doing all that raising only to say they going to turn around and do what the fuck they want to do anyway. I got to be the dumbest motherfucker since Chicken Little, as my mama was saying. I don't know who the fuck Chicken Little is, but they said it in the 80s. That's stupid. It's dumb to say that I taught her everything she know, but she gonna do what the fuck she wanna do. Well, what the fuck was you teaching for then? When was
no,
you gonna
really.
realize you needed to shut the hell up? You should have been shut the fuck up a long time ago then if they gonna do what the fuck they wanna do. I mean, no,
Well, Kev, the example you gave earlier it sounds like they're ignorant people when you say they're not going to do it, so I'm not going to teach them.
Mhm.
Like in
give
my
that
house,
example.
I it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. Okay. So you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything about it until it's time for you to be on your own. So you just have to follow my rules.
Right.
That's how it should be. When you give kids too much freedom, they start wilding out.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
girl.
saying.
And
I
they
like to
still don't like
mention one thing that we keep on it's like I never heard nobody mention the school system. It's like if I had to do over, I will make sure that if I can afford private school, I will homeschool them. Because you're teaching them value in the house and they go outside and they see a different system. So they
Yeah.
bring it back and they question, well, my friend can do this. So, and as soon as you try to say, well, you eat and sleep and I'm your mother, the system, all, is like, for example, you cannot even teach, what was it? That is a felony that you say something like to your children, that homosexuality is a choice. It's like you have to watch what you say today. So I am so thankful that I'm not a parent in this day, because parents, they're confused themselves, and I think that they feel that they're walking in eggshells. What's
Yeah. Even
acceptable, what is not.
I feel
yeah.
like whenever you do,
Even with the school stuff, right? Like, my main thing is it ain't got to do with. That's all I'm saying. We know they gonna encounter all this stuff is really common. I can't say that though. All this stuff we know is gonna happen. I look at this as in when people throw all this extra stuff in there. I look at it as it's like an excuse, and I really don't like excuses.
It's
It's
just
just all I'm
coping.
saying is
All I'm saying is
It
just
is
try
hard.
your best as a parent and try your best to not put this narrative that telling them that body count don't matter. That's all I'm saying. Even if they gonna do their thing or not. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say what if this happened and that's gonna happen and you forget about the scores and you forget the friends they're gonna hang with. Like, okay, we know all that. You know what I'm saying? We know all that.
Because if
But
they
it just sounds
have
like we making pre-excuse before we even try.
Because if they have morals built in them, it doesn't really matter what's going on around them. They know what's right and they know what's wrong because their parents told them and made it very clear. So it
Yeah.
really don't matter at the end of the day what's going to happen on the outside world. I mean, I'm assuming y'all live in America. We know all of this is happening. It's not like taboo, like it's everywhere. So they're going to be exposed to it at some point. But if you teach them and, you know, that they grow up with these morals and values, they gonna know what not to do and what to do in life. You don't have to experience it to know what not to do. You can look at other people that experienced it and be like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Because you see what happened when they did that.
Yeah.
It's really simple for real.
You know,
It's gonna be
I'm gonna
like that.
back in that because we gotta watch even is like you remember like when my daughters were teen, there was on this MTV. I stopped buying cable for that reason, where there was like Teen Mom. I wonders like who come up with that show? Is like it was always pushed and it becomes so famous. So do you understand what I mean? And then there was all I don't know. It's like sometimes it's like if I had to do overs, like I used to get the Disney Channel, pay money thinking that there's watch the Disney Channel like no more this kind because kids are sponges. We're all sponges. Like our surroundings is gonna really make our thinking sometimes, I believe.
I
You
mean,
see what
I
Xander
agree. Like,
said? Got to
I
guide
get
their. I
what you.
like how he said that need to guide their knowledge too, right? It's just all about, like I said, but even now, and it's funny because I'm not even a parent, but it's just I see it though. Like the parent, like I see they get lazy because there's technology and all that stuff, right? It's not the same as when we got raised, right? I'm put it that way. Like they
Yeah,
just
because we
let
had outside though.
the iPad raise them because they don't feel like taking the time with it. You know what I mean? They let all this stuff, right? And if you're gonna let him raise them, at least put parental control on there or something like that, and had them have some educational stuff so they can, you know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy, man. It is getting
I mean,
crazy.
I feel what you're saying, Kev, but I know that when I was younger and all I was kind of like contained to was educational stuff, it made me go search for other stuff. Why? Because this is not everything. This is not real life. This is just a segment that you want me to know. Like, for instance, I would have never learned true history unless I did the research for it myself, right? And when I found out the real history, then it was like, oh, well, y'all been lying to me and hiding this from me my whole life. But you feel me? It's just like you said, yeah, you could try with your kid. I'm not telling nobody not to try to stir their kid in the right direction. It's just being realistic. Like even when you go to school, that was where most of, I watched everybody change. I used to watch people go to school and change clothes and don't be in the same clothes they was in the morning when they got there. You feel me? It just was just it just you experience, man. I mean,
So
we can say how much a positive of what we wish the world would be. Yes, we wish the world would be better than this. I wish that a lot of stuff was different. But the realistic part of it is that the world is still going to have an effect. Yeah, you could try to prep your kid for your kid for certain stuff.
you know, realistic work both ways. It could be because I'm pretty sure parents have been successful, and I know you keep using your. You think everybody was born the same way like you did? You think they was that they
No, I think
just
some people had it better. I think some people had it better.
you said they
I
you
think
think
people,
they actually listen to their parents?
yeah, I think some people did listen to their parents.
No. Okay. Dang, I was trying to get somewhere you could answer. You wasn't supposed to
No,
answer
you
it like
just
that.
you was trying to stir the pot. You're wrong. I think
I was trying
you
to
was trying to stir
get
the
you.
pot, and that's the thing you try to do with me, Kev. You try to stir the pot because you know I'm gonna stand on what I said. But you can stir it if you want. Go ahead and stir that pot.
Just put a little
You know how
beans and
slick.
stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? Some chili.
Yeah, see, yeah, I caught your little notion. I know what you be doing. As soon as I say
Been in my
something,
life too
you be
long,
like,
man.
yeah, let me.
You gotta stop paying attention.
Nah, I watch. I observe you too much. Would have never got that until wouldn't have got that unless if I kept listening to everybody. I had to learn that for myself. Let me sit back and observe this thing.
Yeah, that's why I be
Let's
telling
see what's
people,
going on.
man.
it's all about trying to understand one another, man, than rather being understood. That way you know what you get yourself into, who you dealing with, and that's just the way how you learn life. When you realize a lot of other situations besides yourself, you learn a lot from
I
other
mean, yeah,
people.
I mean, like I said, I'm not, like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm not against nobody trying to direct a child to a better life, right? I'm not against it. What I be telling people is, you can't think that this is like your kids just gonna follow this his whole life. Like they're gonna become of age, they're gonna be kind of influenced by their peers because of course I'm gonna be honest, I was influenced by my peers to do a lot of stuff that deep down inside I know I shouldn't have done. But nonetheless, now that I'm older, I'm able to tell my mom certain stuff like, Mom, you was not lying. Like I told you, I just told my mom that today. They all, my mama told me that grimy, they not who you think they are, or whatever the case may be. And guess what I did? Still win. And now today, when I told her, I said, you know what? We was on the phone. I said, Mom, you was right. They
Hmm.
grimy. I can't trust them. I don't. I mean, yeah, we from the same area. Yeah, we represent the same thing, but they are not on the same thing that I'm on, and
Hmm.
they grimy about it. And she said, yeah, I tried to tell you, but I don't think she gave up. I think what happened was, son, you gonna have to learn this on your own. Like you're gonna have to. I'm telling you, I'm letting you know that this is how it is, but you gotta learn it on your own. And I respect her for that because what if I would have just said, "What's good, hormiga?" Hormiga.
Or
But
Biga.
but
Well,
you feel me?
Touche, that's what planting seeds are all about. She planted those seeds to build your foundation. Had she not have given you that, you probably would have gone in the opposite direction with the gang life.
I
So,
mean, I'm in. Well, I
that's one
mean,
of the.
I'm
Mhm.
in it, but I just learned from observing, being very observant. That's what I would rather teach my kids. Be observant and listen to your gut. If it does not feel right, do not do it. I don't care what nobody telling you to do or how they telling you. If it don't feel right, don't do it. But that's
Well,
something that.
I would.
Go ahead.
Mhm. I'm sorry. I just would say I'd like to ask the host one day to please have a live to discuss why people join them. I'd
Mm.
love to know because it to me it's
Oh,
like smoking. There's no intelligent reason to do it.
Mm.
I can break this down very fast for you. I mean, if he wants to do this live, he can. Um, it's all your
I
demographic,
don't want to
right?
hijack now.
No, you're good. I'm just saying. I just wanted to give you just a brief coming from a person who's been in that, who got in that background and know what it is. Imagine growing up, being the only child, and you getting bullied by these other people. The people is
Mhm.
or imagine growing up and your
Mhm.
favorite cousin or your favorite brother or sister is here, and you see that they always looking out for you. Or imagine an older figure back in the times looking out for you. Hey, go to school, get your money, and stay out the way. And this is what they. This is those is so many multiple reasons that people join. Like I joined for me specifically is when my father passed away. That's why I joined. I wanted to shoot. I wanted to feel the shoes of my dad. Like I just that's just like when I had him and when I had him, he was taken from me. And the first thing that as anger being honest with anger filling my heart because now I'm like I got my dad. He just got out of jail and y'all did this. Now I'm like, yeah, I got shoes to fit. My mom
Okay.
can't. So everybody's reasoning for doing it is different. And like I said, if you were a kid that's consistently getting picked on every time you trying to just go to school, and now you want that protection, that's what a lot of them signed up for. A lot of people signed up for it because they family. A lot of people signed up for it because guess what? You didn't hurt my cousin, and they not no longer here. So now I want to do the same thing. Like it's just different, and it's a form of grieving sometimes. A lot of people join because of the grieving process. Like
Yes.
Whatever,
Yes.
Cadillac.
Okay.
and like somebody just said, it's somewhat like a family. You become a family. But I even tell people like one time, me and my closest friend got into it. She said you joined the gang and that was stupid. And I said, and you're a part of a college gang. What makes me any different from you? And you're in a college fraternity or sorority. You guys are just a college gang. You guys still have colors. You guys still throw up signs. You guys still diss each other, and you guys still fight. Only difference is that you're in college and I'm on the streets, but you are doing the
Hmm.
same thing that I'm doing. So when you
You
pass
sound
judgment on,
intelligent too, Shay. There's a gigantic difference.
it's a difference in some aspects, but I've asked multiple people that are in fraternities and are in sororities have said, you know what, you're not lying. These are
Tiz,
Okay.
you
people who
still
rep
up there?
Alpha Phi Alpha. These are people who rep Omega Psi Phi. These are
I'm
people who
here.
rep these fraternities and sororities. You feel me? So that's what I'm just saying. Like, it's not it, and they've agreed to what I've said. So it's not like it's not at the full fledged aspect, but they've agreed to still say that they have some of the same traits.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So Tiz, I wanted to say something real quick. So did you understand what I was meaning? Because I see that had got to you earlier. I see you bring it back up. So did you understand what I meant by that? Because only reason why I was saying it is just to show that usually the point I was getting, it's not about being a single parent. It was about usually the man is the more stricter person. So that's why I was telling you I understand that you'll be more emotional when it comes to your children. That's the reason why I was mentioning that. It had nothing to do with being a single parent.
Oh no, I understand that. All I said
Okay.
when you mentioned that is like it's true. That was missing in my picture. Sometimes like
Okay.
wasn't born a man, so trying to do the best. But yeah, it would have been helpful to be reinforced at some point, especially when they're
No, I mean everything happened for a reason, so it is what it is. I was just telling you why you was more because you were saying that you couldn't really be too strict, but I was like, that's kind of obvious that women is like that. The women care more about their emotions, especially with their children and all that stuff. That's what I was getting to. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And men bring the strictness. You know what I'm saying? So
And just to answer this too, some gangs do charity work. I have heard of it. I have watched it, and I have heard them go to the hood and feed the homeless. So don't think that all gangs are just not out here doing charity work because sometimes they're forced. OG, you an OG, we're going to go do this for the community.
Hey, can I jump in right quick?
go ahead, Mr. P.
All right. So since I
The
hopped out,
heck
I
is
just was
that?
gonna say, loving everything everybody's saying. Um, However, I wanted to comment on the joining of the groups situation. I think there's a part of the human psyche that we kind of just glaze over. We don't really pay attention to when we're looking at young men who find themselves in these situations. Is as a species, humans are communal. We thrive in an environment with other humans, being around other people, hearing other people's just being active in our lives is an important thing. And you can see this because in our country, America, one of the harshest forms of punishment that we have for criminals is solitary confinement. And because it just rips at your soul as an individual when you're separated from people. And this is my own understanding, my own experiences are guiding this idea, is that I feel that a lot of young men feel in their own lives like they are living in solitary confinement. And then they find a group, whatever that group may be, positive or negative, that's willing to say, you are not alone. You can come over here with us. We will give you security and safety for you to be you as long as you uphold to our standards. And I think men, just in general, we can form ourselves to a routine or a regimen very easily. And so when there's a hierarchy and there's a structure and there's an alpha and there's a chain of command, it's a very easy system for us to fall into and become a cog that's just turning this whole thing. So I think that's part of the issue, is that there's a lot of young people looking at this world that feel totally isolated and totally alone in every aspect. And that's not because of mothers raising them by themselves. It's because of single motherhood. Like, it's not because of women's fault. It's not the women's fault isn't the reason for single motherhood. It's a societal issue. And because these men or these young men are growing up without any kind of male figure to show them that you have this physical energy, you can destroy or you can create. What are you going to do? Women, they have different energies and different drives that push them in different ways, but it's going to be hard for a woman to explain to a man who doesn't have those drives that your hands can be destructive or they can be creative. And men will easily go the destructive route because it's an instant gratification of their physical prowess. So I think that kind of goes into that. But then my other comment, and I'll make this one kind of quick, is when we're talking about children interacting with the world without their parents around, I think that the ultimate combatant you can have for that as a parent is that you can teach your children that they have the right to do right by themselves, meaning that they don't have to give in to something that they know isn't good for them. And she should almost teach them that you're obligated to do what's right by you. Just like when I tell my children that the things I do for them isn't out of love. I do love them, but I don't do the things I do because I love them. I do them because I'm obligated to do right by them.
We didn't know kids were stinky.
And
So,
you know what,
and I agree. I agree with
Mr.
that point.
Prince, just one thing I would like to say on that. First of all, is like I was born in 1969. From that day and the way I grew up is totally different. Right now, you don't have any accessory like electronics or computer or cell phone. We need to be conscious of the fact that it's no longer just our voice that teach our children. So monitor that if I had a do-over. And the way that I meet the opposite set, it was going through the park, a hike, with the church, discotheque, whatever. Now even that part, it's so you don't even need to put any effort. Those For You page, they're raking in the money. So the men can get in the delusion to feel love from a person that they really don't know. It's a different reality now. So we need to talk deeper. It's not that simple as that we think we just talk to our kids. It's bigger, the picture,
Right.
when we want to find the solution. There is so much more.
And also a
We
thing
we
that
would have
y'all,
to go
I
back.
think y'all fail to understand too is music plays a big influence, right? And this is not new. This is not a new thing. Because Tupac influenced a lot of people. Biggie influenced a lot of people. Music plays a big influence to these younger kids these days because that's what they're so like. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, I understand that feeling, so they resonate with it. Like
Well,
back in the day,
I got a little pushback on that because I grew up on Tupac. Our generation did not get influenced like that. We were able to separate the
they
men
did.
from the myths.
They did.
Yeah, they didn't influence us like you see today. We listened to it, we said that's what them dudes was doing. We ain't listen to them and then try to emulate. I don't know about
Well,
what
maybe.
city everybody else
Well,
from, but where I'm from, we didn't emulate them. We just heard for what it was. There was some boys spitting over some music. We had our own lives to live. We did not live our lives vicariously through the artists. That's why if you go back through our era and you look at pictures, nobody looked like the rappers. But if you
okay. Let
go
me ask you a
through,
question. Who did you
you
come up
get me?
listening to?
I came up listening to Ghetto Boys, Ice Cube, Tupac,
And you
uh,
think you think
Too
you
Short.
think you think Ice Cube and Too Short did not have an effect on the youth?
Oh yeah, they had an effect when they did "Fuck the Police." They did a message.
Exactly, and
Now
they
listen.
followed
Now here's
suit.
the thing. Now here's the key to that. At a time when rap was fairly new. See, that's what people got to understand. Rap was fairly new, and you had a different parenting base. See, my parents would not let me, my parents wouldn't let me, would not let you. Well, here's the thing our parents had to buy the music. We couldn't go to the store and buy what we liked. They had to do it. And if it had a parental advisory sticker on it, they wouldn't buy it. Bottom line. Now, today, because of the devices, the children had access to everything without a parental guidance being there. So now on YouTube, you could go to, that's like, I did a story about Meg and Cardi's video WAP. Now, any other time, WAP was a clean record on YouTube, but the image was not clean. So they were able to still be who they were, but because they wasn't cussing, YouTube still allowed it to go. So the image still got through of what they were trying to portray. The big difference is the parents of our time did not, once at 8 o'clock, all devices was fucking off. Bottom line, you didn't have time to sit up there and look at Nicki Minaj videos all night.
But I mean,
TV
but
was off at
I
8.
think that I think what I'm
All
saying.
devices was in your
Um,
But,
mama's.
excuse
Was,
me, you guys. Can I bring us back around? Mr. Print was saying something. Tiziana interjected, then Touche, then Six Foe. So, Mister, you have anything else you wanted to say to add to what you were saying?
Um, I mean, not really particularly.
Okay.
I do need to go. I appreciate you stopping the chat so that I could come in and at least say goodbye to everybody. I love
amen.
everybody's perspective. I'm gonna try to follow everybody here in the chat. Just because I love hearing different things from different people. So appreciate the feedback,
Mhm.
and I look forward to hearing from you all again. Thank you.
For sure,
Thank you,
Mr. P.
Italian Stallion. Thought I forgot, huh?
But I
What up,
I think
Bags? Welcome back.
like I said, I think where it's not being real at is I grew up in the Tupac era, and "Hit 'Em Up" was one of the biggest songs at a time, and a lot of people was portraying that. NWA, F the Police was a big it fueled people. So it all music always influences people, whether it's parentally advised or it's not. You can make out what the words is that's missing. Like I remember a time where you right parental advisory CDs were sold, but I knew everything that 50 Cent was saying. Like at a point, I knew it. I knew the words that fit there. So I mean, I feel like music is always an influential thing, regardless. It don't matter what genre. It don't matter what the difference between my elders coming up, not my mom age, but my elders before. They was mostly talking about love. Like we just don't have that as much. But when we had, can somebody give me a group, Gigi, please? What's the group that came up in your time that you listened to?
hey,
Manhattans, but I'm from New York where rap started. And even before Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, there was a group called the Last Poets.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you could check them out on YouTube, you would find that it was underground at that time, but nothing's new under the sun.
Mm-hmm. No, but what I was saying is
Sorry, Six Four.
what I was saying is basically to say all that is like y'all have different music in y'all time, right? Like I,
Yes.
like y'all music wasn't as how would you say it?
At
It
12
wasn't
minutes,
as
y'all.
what you say,
At
Kev?
12 minutes.
Oh, like
Where you want to take it back to, Kev? What you want to do?
I'm
You
just
want to
listening
take
to
it back?
y'all.
Okay.
Kev about to go to sleep. He looks
Could
sleepy.
I just say a quick hello to everybody? This was so interesting, but tomorrow is gonna be a big day. Guys, thank you for, sharing, and I'm growing from this conversation.
Oh,
Peace
yeah.
and love to all.
What's
Till next one.
tomorrow? Your birthday or something?
No, I have a course that I'm gonna buy, so I'm gonna study it a little
Okay.
bit. And day 31st completed. I'm so excited.
Oh,
Bye for now.
yeah.
Awesome.
For
Bye
sure, for
bye.
sure, for sure.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao
I think you
bella.
said bye for me.
Ciao
Ciao
bella.
Bella.
Era così.
But
Thank you.
I was just like I said, I was just saying all that to say like music plays a big influence on a lot of our generation. Like it don't matter which
It
way
does.
All
parental
type of
advisory,
entertainment
video.
does. All entertainment. It's
So
all
I
about
have
the,
to
does
tell
it's
if
y'all.
you allow it.
I
So
mean,
real quick,
everybody was following suit.
so to
That's
say,
because you
I
didn't
was like,
understand
wait a
the
minute,
climate
y'all.
that
I'm
in
trying to
which
get
that it
some
said
in.
thug life.
Thank you. Touche. I wanted to respond to you. The music's different. So you know this guy, he got this record with some lyrics that say, "I'd rather be with you with all your bullshit than be somewhere else." You know what I'm talking about?
I'd rather be with you and all your other. Right.
Yes.
It was a song.
Oh, I
Yeah.
heard about that.
So I have never, that was to me the lamest stuff I ever heard. Then my grandson said, that's what everybody's listening to, Grandma. So that's what they do. There's no creativity and there's talent, I think, but the creativity is going down to the standards of what we're talking about in this live. People telling their kids body count don't matter, so that's why the music is different, I think, because we're allowing it to go to a lower non-creativity level.
She be catching me off guard with the innocent voice.
Right, right,
Oh
right, right,
no.
right, right, right,
Like,
right.
nah,
Hey,
yeah, just
I know you ain't got number 15 minutes, but if I may add to it real
10
quick,
minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, thank you, sir. Ghetto Boys was an influence on my life. And at a point of time in my life, I used to rap to get my point across. And when I would talk to people, they'd be like, "Oh, so here he come with that rap stuff." But that was my way to get my point across. Tupac and all that stuff like that was a great influence in my life. But I will say this: my mama used to tell me, and bless her soul, she moved on. She was like, when I was coming up, we wasn't none of this, one of that, none of this, none of that. And I said, Mom, you have to understand the difference in the generations and times. King, Otis Redding, and all that. That's all I grew up on. So my soul is old to that. And I should ride with mom in my car, and she'd be like, "You play different music than your brother," because I would play Otis Redding, BB King, and all those other blues guys back in them days, and gave a beautiful, how can I say, it made me feel good because that's all I was raised on. But the rap, some of that was an inspiring thing in my life, but I didn't take in full perspective to allow that to become a part of my life. But I told my mom, it's all about different uh, times of change, and you got to get with the program, mom, and kind of understand what's going on today because things not like it was when you was coming up. And she understood, but she didn't understood. But life changes, and we just have to adjust because that's what we
You gotta
come up
adjust your
against.
perspective.
Reality.
Jerry, you done told your
leave it,
mama
leave
to
it
get
alone,
with the rap
champ.
program.
Yeah,
Jerry,
but no, it wasn't. It was telling.
you
I know
want
it
her to
wasn't
listen
telling her
to the
again.
Yin Yang Twins?
Well, it wasn't. No, it wasn't telling her again. Cause she used to say we didn't do this when we was coming up. Just like we telling our kids when we was coming up, we weren't doing what y'all doing today. And that's what's the difference that I was telling my mom basically to understand life has changed from when you came up and from when I came up. Most definitely has changed. I'll leave y'all with that. Thank you,
Life
Kev.
changed
You
for
gotta also
everybody when they
remember
came
too
up.
that rap music had messages in it. It was message based. That's what hip hop was all about. Being that horn. That's why the NWA said fuck the police. We never knew the police was doing that shit. It took black dudes to make a record. CNN been knew about that. All the media you ain't been saying for years. It took them to ring the alarm to say, hey, these police is killing us, is unaliving us in LA. They doing this. I'm in Detroit. We ain't seen that shit since the 70s. And to hear that it was happening in the 90s in LA, I was glad they made them records because what those records did was inspire us to get proactive to say, okay, wait a minute, what's going on in our community that we should be aware of? They was not telling you to do nothing. Wasn't nobody telling you to do nothing.
I
They
mean,
was telling you
Tupac had a
against it.
song called "Shorty Want to Be a Thug," and I mean, it was definitely talking about a kid wanting to be a thug and growing up.
Yeah,
Like,
because he talking about L.A. lifestyle, because that's how they was in L.A. He telling you in L.A., and we didn't know that. We didn't know in L.A. kids was doing all that stuff. Them doing that told people in Alabama what was going on in L.A. People in Detroit didn't know. People in Chicago didn't know. And then you got the Chicago rappers who came out. Now they telling their stories. But the basis of hip-hop was to relay messages. News media outlet was too racist to let you know. Now, because it went so far left to relaying messages and dropping knowledge and science, a great deal of us who look at today's music as trash is just what it is. It's trash. You don't have a self-destruction. You don't have an all in the same gang type song. No artist, y'all artists today did not do ain't shit compared to Tupac when it comes to how he loved his audience. Everything Tupac said was for black men to stand up and get their shit tight. And
And be a
then he
thug.
went on and said, and then he told the black women, and you wonder why they call you bitch. Then he went
Yeah.
on and said, dear mama. Then he
Yeah.
did
And
Brenda's
that's
Got a Baby.
contradiction.
Or it's
It was
contradicting
all,
itself.
it
That's
was all,
contradiction.
look, but see, here's what it is. It was a progression.
We
It was
are.
That's a
progression.
contradiction.
It
So
was
you
a
want to be a
progression.
thug.
When he did
Hey,
that, when he
we gonna
did,
stand up together.
when,
Brenda got a baby. Them all contradictions. Them is not
They
positive
do that a
contradictions.
no,
lot.
no, 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 no,
Drake do that too.
those ain't contradicted
Come and see
because
me for once, then come
when
through.
he made all that latter shit, that was after Brenda's Got a Baby. That was after that, and shit started going corrupt. So he started speaking to what was
So you
fucking up
think
at
he
that
you think he
time,
gave
and
good
he even
messages all the
said it.
time?
If y'all don't kick listen, he even said, if y'all don't get it, you would never hear another Brenda's Got a Baby out of me. He said, I'll stand up. If any look, he did Brenda's Got a Baby. He did Keep Your Head Up. Only for whatever was going on at that time to taint
And
the social
then he
climate
also
to
did
where he had
unmarried.
to say, wait a minute.
You know how many
No,
times
but that
Tupac
was,
contradicted
hey,
himself?
they was on his ass. Look, you
Yeah,
had haters on Tupac ass.
but listen,
So
you
he
see how
had to
he
defend
contradicted himself?
himself.
But did you not see how
No, that
he
wasn't no
contradicted himself?
contradicting. You in a game full of
What is
wolves.
it?
Which way to go? You in that way?
Am I not under is
Oh, okay. You in
contradicting
the
not saying one thing
game?
and then saying something the total opposite after you said something else?
No, no, no. Because you're gonna defend yourself in any realm. Just like if I say I'm a
Okay.
good guy, somebody slap me and I slap him back, you gonna say that I'm contradicting myself? Hell
All right,
no.
man.
That boy went through. Tupac is one of those artists who went through all the bullshit before any other artist did. They put the spotlight on him like they never put it on nobody. They never cover rappers like they covered Tupac. And the only reason why they covered Tupac, because he inspired a generation of black men to start reading, get jobs, wear suits, look out for other black men. So the attacks
Also
came.
he inspired Thug Life. Also he
Yeah,
inspired
thug
when you
life.
get
And you know
into
what
it,
that
disrespect
means?
somebody's
And
wife.
thug life mean the hate you gave. That's what the fuck that mean, the hate you gave. You're not old enough to remember why
Thug
he
Life.
did work
I
that
don't
shit
think
to him.
I
everybody
would
knew
say.
that though,
I would say.
especially if
Wait,
they was
wait.
It
Let me
young.
mean,
rephrase it.
he said this is the hate America gave. He said, I'm an American nightmare. I'm the black male who came out the hood. I'm the one who got rich. He was the first to do it. And they went at him for it. And his mama was a Black Panther. All that black power he had. They said, we got to stop that nigga. If Tupac continue, he would not only change his generation, but it would change generation of black men to come to be more positive and more cornerstones in their community. And then when them other rap niggas started attacking him, who was from his own city, he did what any G did. He got in they shit. Like, how the fuck y'all gonna get on me, nigga? And I'm out here promoting positivity for the youth. Tupac got into it with the Vice Lords. I don't know now. One of these rap niggas too much of a hoe to get into it with the gang today. They buddying up with them. You know why Tupac got into it with the Vice Lords? Because he found out the Vice Lords was giving little kids guns, and he confronted them by himself. No security. He confronted the Vice Lords and shit. This is documented by his damn self. Y'all some hoes giving these little kids guns. How y'all gonna save the black youth giving them guns, talking to the gang leaders? These niggas today ain't shit like that. They ain't got the kind of nuts Tupac got. They go get with the gang members. Yeah, I'm checking in. Tupac ain't checking in with the Vice Lords. He checked them niggas. And it took
2 minutes.
Spice One to pull him off. Like, hold on, man. He from LA. He love the kids, man. His mama, Afeni Shakur's black. Listen, it ain't that type of party. And they gave Tupac a pass because they said he was real enough to confront gang members. Why y'all giving these kids guns? They don't know nothing about what Tupac did outside of movies. They just know what they heard from somebody who heard it from somebody. Take it from a motherfucker who was there. And now a motherfucker who was there, Spice One is my nigga. You talking to a nigga who sold over 8 million records. I roll with them niggas talking about motherfuckers wrong about Tupac. All y'all
And I'm
wrong
not wrong.
about
I
it.
mean,
All y'all
I'm
wrong. I
entitled to have an
roll with them
opinion.
niggas. Check my motherfucking resume, nigga. 8 million records sold to this motherfucking day. I was a G with them niggas. Spice One, my niggas. Snoop Dogg, all them niggas. You can go on my Facebook and see me with all them niggas suck dick on. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's why when niggas talk shit about that, I just be listening. Let me hear what the fuck this young nigga got to say about an era this nigga probably wasn't even a thought of his father nuts in.
I
Because I
was.
was there. I
I mean, I
seen what
was. You can't.
Tupac was doing. I seen
You
what the
you
I
can. That,
seen the
I mean,
effect.
that's your
I
opinion.
seen
You can
the
say that.
effect what
That's cool.
Tupac was doing. I seen the effect what he was doing. I seen the effect what Biggie did. I seen the effect of what 50 was doing before 50 was even a motherfucking star. 50 was already bubbling under. I seen the effects of what
Thank you,
Mac 10
Gigi.
did on the West
Appreciate you.
Coast. Y'all don't even talk about that, the shit that Mac 10. And then here's the biggest thing about it. It was never an East Coast, West Coast beef.
It
It
wasn't.
was never that. Never.
That's crazy.
It never was an East Coast, West Coast beef. You know why? Because both of the niggas that was beefing was both from motherfucking Brooklyn. How the hell is an East Coast, West Coast beef when both them niggas from Brooklyn?
He was from. Who was from Brooklyn? Pac. I thought he was from Baltimore.
Tupac. Oh, you didn't know that? You didn't know Pac
Yeah,
was from
yeah. I thought he was
Bed-Stuy?
from Baltimore.
Okay.
So history lying
Biggie
on
is
him.
from Bed-Stuy. So you got two East Coast niggas beefing, but yet the world saying it's an East Coast, West Coast beef.
All
Tupac
right,
is
y'all,
from
man.
that
I gotta
area.
call it now.
Call it.
Y'all done
Look,
Tupac it
listen.
out. At
Listen to
least we found.
Tupac
At least we found a.
song ain't nothing like the old school. Tupac from he from New York. That's why he went in on them niggas. Like y'all niggas gonna do me like this? I'm from the hood. Y'all niggas mad I came out to LA and got famous? Y'all niggas dissing me for what? I'm from you niggas. I let you niggas sleep on my bed. What he said, I let Biggie sleep on my bitch couch. Nigga, we was boys